and do a sound check out there. If you guys hear me okay, let me know. Little shaky start. Um, but oh well. I guess I can kind of get started on a couple of other things until Chris gets in here. I got way too many strings up. Dingo, I see you there. How are we doing, Dingo? I see Dingo's already in there. I see on the Rockfin side, we got John over there. What's up, John? And in fact, I was thinking about this stream, and I was like, I probably should do this stream on Rockfin just because it could get a little testy. Yeah, I guess rushing around in StreamYard has kind of changed up some of its stuff a little bit, and so trying to rush and get everything up. Um, because Chris needed me to be in a little bit earlier. Um, I I guess I set it up in the wrong way. So trying to make sure I get that straight. I see Citizen Man Hamza. Hamza says I was watching your video with Sabby earlier. Good. Yeah, I guess I could put that out in the meantime. I did a couple of appearances yesterday. Let me adjust my camera. Say Venti Cafe. Yeah, weird start, but glad it went through. I hope everything is well. Yeah. Normally, I mean, I kept wondering like, why is this not showing up on the stream at all? I mean, it's not showing up. It's not giving notification. So that's why I put out that posting to let everybody know. Tighten these up a little bit so they can quit sliding down. I got the little old man glasses holders going. But yeah, I did Savvy's show yesterday afternoon. Hello, Variant. And I did AM Wake Up the day before. No, same day. I guess it's just all blurring together. I finally got to do that. So I went on and we got into a lot of stuff. So Hamza says, I think she needs to have you on more to educate her and her audience. I mean, I'm welcome to it. I definitely can. Because she normally goes live about the time when I'm getting off work. So granted, I could do it in the car ride home. But yeah, I mean, I would definitely be welcome to it. So Farrakhan dropped bombs on Ye and Kyrie, which I do definitely want to talk about that. I'm gonna try to see if I can find a decent clip that's short because I know Farrakhan said a lot, but just kind of some of the bullet points of what was said in there. But in the meantime, I'll get to some other stories that I wanted to bring up and address. So, what is this? Let me drop this PDF. Don't need that right now. Okay, so don't need that either. Nope, not YouTube. That's not what I want yet. It was a kind of an interesting story. I guess I'll start with that one. I don't know if you guys remember the movie Terminal. Oh, wait a minute, showing. There he is. So let's get this on the screen. Let me share screen with everybody. Okay, so one of the ones you sent. It's not too long, is it, Hamza? If so, I'll throw that one up. So the AM wake up stuff was good, also cool. Here it is. It's kind of ironic when you see these things. It's like, could they not have found a man of the same? I mean, couldn't they have found somebody who would have been better suited to play this role? So let's go ahead and read it. Iranian man who inspired Steven Spielberg's film The Terminal dies at Paris airport. I decided I want to share because it's just so ironic. Miran Karimi Nasiri died after a heart attack in the airport's terminal 2F, according to official with Paris airport. And this is him at the Charles de Gaulle airport in France, 2004. This is the same. This is where this whole story about the man living in the airlines. And so when you see the fact of Tom Hanks, one of the closest people that in that movie, which he has a tie with, is an Iranian man who's like, well, I'm not sure if the guy was Iranian or not. I'll say Middle Eastern man who had been living there for decades. And it goes to this guy's story. Here, let's read down a little bit of the story. It says Paris, an Iranian man who lived for 18 years in Paris Charles de Gaulle airport and inspired the Steven Spielberg film The Terminal, died Saturday in the airport, officials said. Membrani Nasiri, apologies for butchering his name, died after a heart attack in the airport's Terminal 2F around midday, according to an official with the Paris Airport Authority. Police and a medical team treated him, but weren't able to save him, the official said. The officials was not authorized to be publicly named. Naziri, believed to have been born in 1945, lived in the airport's Terminal 1 from 1988 to 2006, first in legal limbo because he lacked residency papers, and later by choice, according to French media, which I highly doubt that. He had been living in the airport again in recent weeks, the airport official said. His saga inspired the Terminal, the Terminal starring Tom Hanks and a French film. So I guess it's a French film by the same name also. But yes, this poor gentleman lived in the airport all that time. And it's kind of like the same thing which you have with prisoners, where they've been in a prison so long that they have a hard time departing and kind of feel more at home staying in the prison. And maybe that's kind of what he was experiencing on the, towards the end. Variant says, I'm very concerned for Ye now. Please explain why you feel concerned for him. Do you feel concerned for his safety or for his well-being? What would you say? Because we're definitely going to get into it and talk about it. Let's see. John says, family, good to see you. The big fights are happening in our house, so won't be here long. I understand. Just make sure to come back and check us out later. I know you will. Fante Cafe says, typical of capitalists, make money off other suffrage. That's exactly what happened here. There were so many people, notable people, who knew about what was going on with this man and did nothing to try to help his condition or situation. And that's what I like to focus on about it. They didn't say, you know what, why don't we try to figure out what's this guy's situation? Even Steven Spielberg, who did the film Terminal, he didn't try to figure out, how can I help this man? What was going on? Why was this guy in limbo? Or all these people who during the time did nothing to try to help this man. So I mean, it's a sad story, definitely, and sad and ironic at the same time that he ended up dying literally in the airport, which he lived in for 18 years. So that's enough on that subject. And then I guess I'll go on to, I guess I'll talk a little bit about the elections. I don't know if you guys followed the elections. Let me know what you guys saw that was important. Really spellbinding. I did not pay a lot of attention to the elections. I will tell you that, because when I tell people that I have given up on the political system, I have completely given up on the political system. And I get it. I know there are certain states which are having various different things, hot races going on. This is for state senate. This is important. You might have the Department of Agriculture might have a new leader. I get that that's important. I mean, or maybe even you have state ballots. Well, one thing I'll tell you about California and its state ballots is it has a gazillion of them on there. And both sides have so many damn lawyers who are writing these policies or provisions which you're trying to get through, that you have no clue which way most of the time you're voting until after something's passed or it's failed. So I know the level of corruption that's in the system. So um I don't spend a lot of time focusing on it. So that's kind of how I feel as far as some of this electoral politics stuff. And then I just know the outright corruption once you go all the way up the chain. And with this situation with Kanye, I feel that, or sorry, EA, the situation is going on with him and Kyrie Irving. I feel is exposing a lot of the system. So, we'll get more into it. Let's see. Yeah, John says they let a man live in an airport 18 years. A lot of people let him die. Yes, a lot of people could have done a lot more to help with the circumstances, but chose not to. And that shows kind of just the world we're living in, whether it's whatever, whatever, whatever reason we want to find for it. You can see that there's a lack of care that you see going on in the world. And I mean, that's one thing for me, I always go back to scripture on something like that. It does say that the love of others will wax cold in the last days, and that's the kind of stuff that we're seeing. So yeah, Venti says, yeah, Cali is yeah, it's fucked. LOL. I've been here for my whole life and nothing changes much. Dems or Republicans are all the same. Exactly. We saw what happened with the Nori Martinez and the Kevin De Leon and what was it, Gil Cedillo. And there's a certain level of tribalism within tribalism within tribalism of some of our people. Even when they rise to the top, they don't represent us anymore. It is completely about their little cliques and how they could power whatever they're trying to do. And especially California politics, it's all about just getting to the next level, because they know that if you're able to move up in California, it's a strong possibility of moving into national politics. And that's what a lot of these people's goal. It's about the career. It is not about it's not about, caring about people. Let's see, like what Royce White says, it's a unit party. Yeah, it definitely is. But you also do got to worry about Royce White. You got to watch him. He does have political aspirations. So I'm not saying that because a person has political aspirations, you can't take them, you can't take anything they're saying to heart, or you can't take any kind of credibility in it. But one thing we always have to keep in mind with all of these different people, especially who are in the public eye, there's a large amount of what they do that is about them. I mean, that's what makes the Kanye, or I keep saying, I mean, I guess he gotta forgive some of us. We gotta get, because I just learned 2 months ago, or when this first thing just came out, that he had changed his name to Ye, which I had no clue about. And I really believe a lot of people didn't have a clue about. Oh, Variant said, I think it's very, very realistic. I think it's a very realistic possibility that he will be killed for his most recent comments. We're going to get into those regarding him being able to be controlled. Yeah, yep. We're going to go. We're going to go into that. Mr. Street says, chosen or waking up, can't stop the shift. And that's what I mean. Honestly, all of these things that we see that are going on within society as a whole is a great awakening happening. Just like people talk about that there is a new hegemony shift, there are all kind of events and things that are unfolding that I feel we're at a Pandora's box stage where it's been kicked off, and these things are just they're gonna continue to grow in the directions which they're gonna grow in. Give me a second. Let me see where Chris is, because let me just tell him real quick, because I don't want to get into the main topics quite yet until I have him on. So I have that now. Well, I guess I can get into this other topic that I have here. Royce exposed Israel on Jason Whitlock's show. Well, there's a lot that can be exposed on this topic. I think he will. I think Royce will definitely run again. Yeah, I mean, I think that he will. Uh, uh, um, he's oh, all right, yeah, he'll be in shortly. Varian says, I just don't understand how people don't see the pattern with these politicians, broken promises, Venti Cafe. It's funny. I'm drinking a Venti Cafe. Um, I mean, I'm learning patterns. I learned patterns in kindergarten. Well, the problem with it is, hey, I see Warren is in the building. Much love to you, brother. I think the problem is so many people really do have good intentions and really have a good heart and really, really, really want the system to work. They want to turn everything around. And I don't fault anybody for having that want or desire. I don't fault anybody for believing that they can try more. I mean, I don't have a problem with that. It's just I'm at the point where I feel I've seen certain things and I can't unsee them. I can't go back to thinking the way I used to after some of the things I've come across. Um, let's see, just to meet just the media exposed to unfortunately well, Jerry, if you want me to show that one, you'll have to probably send it to me. I can't pull that one up on the screen. Well, I can't pull it up from here. Let's see, let's back let me go into Instagram and see if I can get Hamza's the stuff Hamza sent me up on the screen. Oh, wait a minute, this is from Hamza right here. Right, cool. So which one? Farrakhan. There's a bunch. Watch that one. That one. Okay. I think I see which one you're sending me. So let's pause it. I'll pause it and save that there so I can get it ready. And then I just heard from Chris. He will be in. Like, and what I mean about it's the Rumble link. Okay. I'll double check and might need to go back in there and see. Said it was the Rumble link. Well, you do realize I might get in. I'll try it anyway. You're trying to get me in trouble because it's the reason why some of the stuff be on Rumble because they know they can't do it on YouTube. But I will try to pull it up. If it will let me. Yeah, that one is not letting me click on it, sir. Not at all. But like, and I'm not gonna go and try to even go after or you know what? This is what I'm gonna do. Hold on one second, everyone. All right. Said you see Ye's latest video post. Bro, that's what I'm saying. We got to talk about Ye's most recent post. I got what is it? I got to let me pull up this quote. I just want this quote. to keep in mind for everybody. Duh, 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 duh. This old Malcolm X. This is one of my favorite quotes that he's ever said. Let's see if I can find it shortly. I really got to readjust the way I have this because this is not set up. Or actually, that's what I can do. I can have it in my phone. I know I have it in my phone. So let me get these. Let me get this quote real quick for everybody. Thank you guys for bearing with me. Where's it at? Good thing I have mine set in a quote section. So he said, not that one. If I can find it. If not, I might just have to leave it off to the side and paraphrase it. But give it one more second. No. Must have it in another file. Quotes, 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 quotes. Where's my other quotes section? Okay, never mind. I don't see it, but anyway, and if anybody knows this quote, please pull it up for me. It basically says at one point he didn't know something, and so he doesn't fault others for what they don't know because at a certain point in time he didn't know what they don't know. And so that's the tweet which I think about in this time. I look back to me a couple of years back when I was out there really believing it was a possibility that Bernie could win. At this point now, I know that's kind of like it's not how these things work. It's not how the system works. Um, but John says the title brought me here. Hello, chatters. Hey, Marcus, love you. Love you on AM Wake Up yesterday. Couldn't catch it live, but watched it today. So glad you were in there, free thinker. Like I say, anybody who has any questions right now, now's a good time before we get really into the main topics. And I don't want to jump on the one thing and because it's so intertwined together. Yes, yeah, Vandy, exactly. No, Bernie, he fooled me once, never again. Well, Bernie, I don't want to even say in 2016, it was just hope. I didn't think it was a possibility. I figured he could at least possibly push Hillary to move more to the left and get things done. I thought that 2020, I was like, I don't know, but I'm a root for him. And then right when I got to that point when I was like, you know what? He could possibly win this thing. It was like a first time for a moment I start believing. I believed it for a few months. And especially after Obama, the hope that I had kind of like been eviscerated with politicians because I realized that there wasn't much that they were going to be able to get done. They say a whole lot, but how much they actually get done is a different story. So I wanted to really just take my time and you know hope that I can see very marginal things, look for very very small things on the margins, and not expect a whole lot. And that's what I did with Bernie. But he roped me in, and then when I started to second guess and question how he went out, it's not that he lost, it's how he did it. How he did it was in a way where it's kind of like watching somebody point shave in a game right in front of you, and you know that's what they're doing. I felt Bernie was point shaving. I felt he was intentionally sandbagging to let, to let, you know, to let Joe in. And I don't know if it was something which happened, something he was told off to the side. That's what I thought at the time until we started doing more research. And, I believe it was Franco Franco had dropped a video talking about how Bernie has kind of been a sheep herder for the longest. I see Nicole Vance says, I saw you last night on Savvy Sabs, and looked up those things you were talking about. Some things I can find, some not. Can you give me a good recourse of info? I really enjoy your combo. Yes, 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 yes. There are various different books that I go to for some of these things. Some you could just find Google easy, but one thing I've noticed over the last couple of years is things which were much easier to find, say 2018, 2019, have gotten harder and harder and harder to find. And I don't think that's by accident. So put either, if you're on social media or you have an email, let me know and I can definitely send that information to you. Most people know my DMs are normally wide open. It's easy to get a hold of me, whether it's on Twitter, Instagram, or if you're not on any of those social media platforms, you can always just email me, which I could put my email in the chat. I probably need to have Jira like be my assistant on some of this stuff. Put my email in the chat for me. That's what I did. That's what it is. I need a what do they call it? Yeah, it's modern day book burning. I need a producer. There he is, Mr. Lawson, joining us.
Marcus, what's going on? Pardon my lateness.
Yeah, they're taking out information everywhere. There's so many things which, like, I'll give you an example. There's a book on iconoclasm. And this book, it used to be, say, roughly about, and it's an art book, it used to be roughly about, say, $50. This book now cost over $1,700. Oh, wait a minute. Let me double check. Is it 1,700? Because I might be wrong. I might be wrong.
Right.
I think it's higher than 1,700.
For what? What you want me to look up?
Oh no. Well, I got it. What was it called? It's called what is it like? Russian icons or Russian iconoclasm.
Mm-hmm.
And this book, I'm trying to remember how much the price jumped up. It was when I first saw the book, it was like $50. Yeah, I wanted to wait for you. I didn't want to jump into, because we got, Hurricane Nicole. Hopefully, if you can bring that up, anything on Hurricane Nicole. I wanted to jump into that a little bit before we got started on our main topics.
I mean, as far as I go, it was just raining. It wasn't bad for us.
Oh yeah, but it jacked up a couple of areas. Oh,
I know.
Here it is.
For us, we were good. We didn't lose power. I mean, honestly, you couldn't even tell that it was a tropical storm. They were telling us it was going to be kind of crazy. We were getting alerts to our phone, what felt like every 5 minutes. But again, at the end of the day, at least for my particular area, it was just really rainy.
All right. Yeah, I just sent you a picture. I want you to put that up on the screen for me, sir.
Oh, okay.
This picture right here, it'll show everybody what I was talking about. I guess I was a little bit off on the amount. Man, that's why my glasses are so crazy. Let me clean these up, and from my shower earlier today, my face is still a little bit oily. Yeah, that's when you got bad skin conditions. You have to cake yourself in oils. So if I'm so super shiny, that's why. I'm trying to wipe myself down a little so the glare is not blinding everyone. But yeah, if you put this up on the screen, they'll be able to see one of these books. It's Russian icons. Because the crazy thing about it is, if you go to Russia now, you'll go into the first part. You'll see all these different icons all over the place. And then once you walk around the corner, I texted to you.
Yeah. I'm about to pull it up.
Yeah, once you walk around the corner and you look on you go around this back corner, you start seeing older icons. And these older icons, you start saying like, whoa, wait a minute, what's going on here? And these icons that we're talking about, these reliefs that we're talking about, are reliefs and depictions of the ancient Israelites. Which it's kind of funny that we rolled into this topic, but it's kind of rolling into some of the stuff that we've talked about. Yeah, can you zoom that in at all? You guys see that? Right there, that top one is the one that I was talking about. I said 1,700. It was actually 6,000. I might have been conflating the seven. This one down at the bottom is 7,500 used. All of these are used. So that one's almost 4,000 used. This one's 7,500 used. This one is 6,000 used. This one is over $1,000 used. And we're easily talking about some of these books being over $20,000 for one book. It's not like this is a book which is thousands of years old. This is a book which was mass produced. And the reason why they are so high, in my opinion, is because, like I was just saying, they are trying to hide certain bits of information. And it is a very concerted effort which is going on. Say you need some witch hazel. Well, I make my own concoction, Mad Marxist. I use a lot of different oils and creams, and I mix it all together. And that's, I mean, it looks a little funny after a couple of hours after I put it on, because I put it on earlier today, but it takes a while before it absorbs into the skin, and that's what I have to do. So I guess I will pull up, let me go to my Twitters. And which one do I have here? Is this the right one? Dang it, I'm in the wrong Twitter. That's what I'll do. Let me switch Twitters real quick.
No, you're good.
No, I think am I in the right one? No, I am in the wrong one. Let me just pull it up. I know where the
I've been trying to get to it, Streets, but I haven't had time to sit down and watch it yet.
Sit down and watch what?
Hebrews to Negros.
Yeah, I'm probably. I mean, I've watched clips of it here and there, but I gotta watch it fully. I got a. Now I don't know if you guys recognize those gentlemen that I have on the cover. On the thumbnail, one goes by the name of Moxie, and that was his channel that this was on. Moxie approved, and the other one is I believe, was it Pastor Kelly from We Woke Now, and they do a pushback on the Rolling Stone article of Hebrews and Negros, which I'm going to be putting that out shortly. Let's go to some of these images. Yeah, it didn't really mess with you guys because it was up further north. This is in I believe Daytona up to the St. Augustine area. And so you literally had multi-million-dollar places destroyed. Storm kills at least 5 and leaves unprecedented damage to the Daytona area coastline, which, for those who don't know much about Daytona is small. Daytona is very small. I mean, it's probably one of the smallest cities I've been to that's looked at as a major city. Yes, just send me your handle on Twitter, Nicole, and I will follow you if you're not following me. Or if you can find me, go ahead and follow me, and then I'll send it to you. Um, Yipper says, who was the African president that the U.S. had to wait until he went to Vietnam? His book on how to stop imperialism in the hundreds. I can't tell you off the top of my head. I'm blanking on that. But I can hit you up and I'll just message you, Yipper. Destruction of our history is still ongoing. Yes. Mr. Street says watching Hebrews and Negros tomorrow. John Kemper says they can destroy. Yipper says that's messed up. You dirty. Okay. Just did send an email title looking for info. Cool. I will definitely get back to you. All right. So without further ado, let's go on ahead and get to the topic at hand. Let me check over on Rockfin Inside, see what they're talking about over there. All right. Yes. Denver says pricey antique. Yeah, and it's not even that old. That's the crazy part about it. It's not even that old. But just to get this information, you're gonna have to jump through some hoops. Yes, forbidden knowledge and truths, which right now, I mean, even and something which happened with that storm, you just had an Indian burial ground that was like built over, which just popped up. So right now is a time in all kind of different ways where information is being released and the elite's secrets are being leaked out, and all of this is dovetailing into the stuff that we're talking about. Hey Marcus, I'm going to check out you on Savvy 2. I haven't caught that one yet. Yes, please check it out. We talked about the what was it? The Holmes. I'm trying to remember the exact name of the prison. It was Holmes, not Holmesburg. I can't remember. I got a bad memory tonight. Maybe I need to drink my coffee a little faster. But I sent it to myself to remember to talk about it. But
yeah, Ivan Van Sertima is my guy, Mad Marxist. I used to tweet about him all the time.
Well, I just click right back into the same thing.
His speeches, his videos are pretty good too. You know, he's West Indian.
What was the name of it? I'm drawing so many blanks. Okay, that's confusing. I guess just got a lot of stuff sent to myself, which is not in there. But it's the prison is in Philadelphia, or was in Philadelphia. Sorry, it closed in '96. It was opened in about was it 1895? It was built to kind of be an overflow for the heavy prison population, which you had at the the other major prison, which was close by, which housed a lot of very famous people. Free Thinker says, I live in Florida. What happened along the coast was heartbreaking. I know those places.
Holmesburg, maybe?
Holmesburg, that's it. Holmesburg.
Got you, son. See?
That's it. I'm like Holmes. I couldn't quite get it. But yes, it's a lot coming. My Twitter name is Real Marcus J Cage. You should be able to find me there, and then it'll click to, and it connects to my other 4 Twitter accounts. So I let people know I'm not somebody who's I just got all these secrets and I'm popping up. No, you guys all know all of these are my accounts. So what part did you want to start with Kanye first, or did you want to start with Ye first or Kyrie first? Because both of these topics, it's a lot to go into, and I feel like with the why Ye is more complicated to deal with is he puts a
Well,
lot of himself in things, and he can be kind of selfish on a lot of other stuff. So it's hard to tell when he's really talking some real stuff and when it's just something about him.
self-serving.
Yeah, when it's self-serving. And since he's
Mhm.
all and he's I've never seen an entertainer who's as worse of a communicator as Ye is. He's probably the worst communicator that has a job communicating. I mean, so um,
Mhm.
he uses metaphors in terrible ways, and that it triggers people. It really does. When people
Mhm.
hear that slavery was a choice, and once they hear that, it's I can't hear nothing else this asshole
It's
is saying.
hard to get past that, right?
It is, or the White
Just like
Lives Matter shirt, or or some of
well,
them. It can be just the Trump stuff.
well, not yeah, for real. For the Trump stuff, or saying or repeating what Candace Idiot says, and that
Yeah,
homeboy passed away from a drug overdose and not having, a knee on his neck
yeah,
for however long it took for him to die. Shit like that.
yeah. I mean, and I had to listen to somebody bring up the point, say he's disagreeing with exactly what he felt caused the death. He's not saying that the cop did not cause the death.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I think we're missing in this. He's not saying that cop is not responsible for his death. He's saying that he just believes that fentanyl or some other kind of stuff is what
Mm-hmm.
really did it. And it's like, I don't really care. It's just that's
Mm.
and what I would advise anybody who is in that situation, which they're definitely not going to listen to me, but if you're in that situation, make sure that you don't conflate a bunch of issues at the same time where it makes it appear that you can't take on too many things which are conflicting. You can't sit there and talk about the white lives stuff, knowing what kind of subliminal message you're sending. Even though
Mm-hmm.
we all know, yes, white lives, everybody's lives matter. We all know that. That's a given. But we know what when you're saying white lives matter, what that's representing, what that's saying. It's like a dog whistle for
Mm-hmm.
pushing back. And so Kanye, I don't know, maybe I never rule out that some of these elites are that much in a bubble that it does not click to them. I don't rule that out. I also don't rule out that he could be just trying to have a push against the Black Lives Matter organization. Which that's another thing. If you're talking Black Lives Matter, you got to make sure that you are putting that disclaimer. I'm talking about the organization versus the movement because the movement predated the organization. And
Mm-hmm.
just like any other organization, Black Lives Matter, progressives, the Democratic Socialists, DSA, any of these organizations can be co-opted, and many have been co-opted. And
Mm-hmm.
so that has to be always factored in. But if you don't
Right.
leave these disclaimers, this is where you get yourself into the trouble, which he got himself into. Um, so, like I said, Kanye speaks off the top of his. You can't be on platforms like that with so many people and not really think about what the hell you're saying because you know your words are going to reach a very, very, very large audience. You can't
Mm-hmm.
talk like you're sitting in your living room. You got to talk like the people are going to come against you. So just want to put that out there first. I understand there's people who are pissed off at Kanye because they feel he disrespected black people, but we got to pay
Mm-hmm.
attention to the nuggets that he is talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And
You
he's
know,
talking. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm gonna say there's a couple things going on all at the same time. Uh,
Yeah,
you know, it's
oh, and shout out to Mary. I see Mary Leck out there. Thank you for watching Sabby, and make sure you guys are all giving love and support over there to Sabby. You know,
there's a couple things to deconstruct with all of this, right? I mean, you
yeah,
could spend a considerable amount of time on each part of it, but
hmm
we're at the phase of since everything is a show and everything is theater, we're at
hmm
the part where they're now showing you what happens when you cross us.
Yeah.
We're
I
seeing
mean,
it in real freaking time. There is no, you don't need to wait for this. Some people, you know, oh, what happened, Marcus? Did I lose you? Or you
oh,
still
just
there?
no, I'm still here. I just
Oh,
took
okay.
my camera off while I pour my coffee.
No, you good. I'm about to have
Damn,
one of my
hands are too greasy.
yeah, I'm about to have one of the little people here go make my coffee as well and pull their ass off a video game and have them
Say, get your ass
go
in
make
there,
some
servant.
fucking fellow. But as I said, there's a lot to take in. But we're at the part of the show where they are making an example of Kanye West. I mean, excuse me, of Kyrie Irving in the worst possible way. It's look, as I've been consistent in saying, you don't have to believe anything from that Hebrews to Negros documentary. You don't have to believe anything Ye said as part of, as it relates to black people being Jew or whatever. You don't have to agree with that at all. What you cannot disagree with is that this particular group, they move as a unit and they will take you out for saying things that they deem to be unacceptable.
Yeah, what I would say is, um, let me put to you what the game has been played. Kyrie shared a documentary, but what's being pushed back on is the book and documentary. See, that's what I don't think a lot of people realize, the bait and switch that's happening here. And it's funny. Right as I say that, I will watch my signal drop down. But what people don't understand, the bait and switch there is, there's different information that's being said in the book versus the documentary. You could watch the documentary and have no clue about a lot of different stuff that's said in the book. But what they're doing is they're conflating the two together. So anytime you hear somebody say, "Oh, the documentary's anti-Semitic," and it causes all these questions about the Holocaust and about Jewish people and all these things. Well, here's the thing, which is not even mentioned, like in this Rolling Stone article. He is quoting, Ronald Dalton is quoting people. Ronald Dalton's not saying this stuff on his own volition. He's literally quoting various different Jewish sources on what they are saying. And what they're doing is because he's quoting sources which Jewish people are, words which Jewish people are saying, that is against a lot of the Zionism, which is against a lot of the control that goes on. Then this is where this problem is going back. Let's see. Nicole says, I get a lot of pushback from people about him. I just want to make sure he gets the help he needs and not propagandize when he really needs help right now. Yeah, I mean, especially if we're talking about Ye, there's a lot that goes on with Ye, and I feel like he's. See, here's what I would like to do. I would like for, if you want to say that the Orthodox Jewish people are the people that he needs to go and meet with and speak with, instead of going to a Kanye or a Ye, who would not be an intellectual leader for us, not by a long shot. Just because he has money and prominence, even though he's not a billionaire anymore, he is not a thought leader for any of our communities. And especially as far as the Hebrew Israelites movement. And one thing I do want to put this out here and say this to anybody who is listening to this. When you start saying Black Hebrew Israelites, when you keep using that term, that is an intentional slight that's being used, that was pushed by the ADL. You will not find one single Hebrew Israelite that calls himself Black Hebrew Israelites. is meant to be a dismissive and disrespectful slight. So if you're trying to be respectful in engaging with Hebrew Israelites, try to avoid saying Black Hebrew Israelites. Um, let's see. Thomas says here, the Jews have a lot of power. They can literally cancel people for claiming Hebrew. Meanwhile, the natives are powerless to when people claim native culture. Well said. Jews are very powerful. Well, and this is
Thomas. What's up, man?
And I mean, I will put this. I want to bring this back up. I read this before, and I want to bring it back up. You know which article I'm going to bring up, Chris?
Which one?
When a Jewish man says this, there's no problem. Oh, really? Now they want us to subscribe to it. Figures. $1 for 6 months. No, I'm not going to do it. In fact, this is what I'll do. I'll go back and see. Oh, wow. They're making sure people can't get this. Yeah. I think I'm trying to remember. I think just because I had a feeling that this was going to happen, I think in my phone, I put it in my notes. So sometimes what I'll do is I'll go and get I'll go to my notes section, get all this information down. And then, yep, there we go.
I tell you, isn't it? These paywalls are hilarious, right?
Oh yeah.
You'll get the headline that says like important information about curing cancer.
I don't know if you can see it or not.
No, we can't see it.
It's too bright. But there we go. Hold on, let me try that. Let me try changing.
Yeah, you know, they hide. They'll hide the cure for cancer behind the paywall, but you know they'll give you a bullshit ass article for free.
That's not gonna work. But yeah, this article, you guys can look it up. It's Los Angeles Times. Who runs Hollywood? This is by Joel Stein, a Ashkenazi Jewish man. He says, I've never been so upset by a poll in my life. Only 22% of Americans now believe the movie and television industry are pretty much run by Jews, down from nearly 50% in 1964. So in 1964, 50% of everybody pretty much was like, yeah, that's a common fact. We all know that. Duh. But now, well, in this time, 2008. In 2008, it had gotten down to 22% of the population believe that. I bet you if you did a poll at this point now, it's probably lower than that. And this goes into what he was saying. He goes, the Anti-Defamation League, which released the polls results last month, sees in these numbers a victory against stereotyping. Actually, it just shows how dumb America has gotten. His words, Jews totally run Hollywood. Now, what is all encompassed in Hollywood? Hollywood is not just movies, right? Hollywood is TV also. So, and here's another thing. Music is very powerful. And anybody tells you it's not is full of it. Think about how many people who give credit to the music of the 60s bringing people together. Now, if music has the ability to break down racial lines and make black and white people start, intermingling and being fine with each other and break down some of the racism and stereotypes, then how can it not push other narratives that want to be pushed? You can't say that it can make you reduce your hatred and bigotry and prejudice, but it can't also push negativity, stereotypes, and prejudices. And if you look in the entertainment industry, what narrative is being pushed?
Oh, they push like independence, You know, being moderate with your alcohol use, your drug use, if you have to. They
Mm-hmm.
preach to stay in relationships and be faithful and not to cheat. You know, this is me being sarcastic, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. I just wanted to make sure you
Yeah.
got it. You know, it's the total opposite of everything I just said that gets heavily promoted. You know, it's get
Yeah.
fucked up.
It's
You
something.
know,
Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
you go get high. You know, it's all the negativity. You know, like how they say sex sells. Well, negativity sells.
Yes.
The whole thing.
I'm trying to see if I got this clip. I'm gonna just show you guys a little bit. I got two parts which I want to go to. Yeah, I know this thing is massive and there's so much information, and I'm gonna share it in the chat. See about 122. Okay, so this this is from the channel Moxie Approved. Wow, this thing is blown up. Since last I saw, wow, he has 17,000 subscribers. This this video was at 101,000 views. So it is really blown up. Oh shoot, let me double check over. I guess can you give a check over the Rockfin side? Make sure we're not forgetting our peeps over there while I get this queued up.
On my way.
All right. Skip over. There we go. Hebrew to Negros. All right. And so I'll give you guys a little bit of a breakdown on what this this live stream that they did. We're good over there. Any comments that you want to share?
Oh, who really controls? Yeah. No, I mean they're all in line with what we've been saying.
Okay.
But shout out to him, Car Free Thinker, Denver, of course. What's up?
Much love to all them, all those peeps over there. These two gentlemen, Moxie and We Woke Now, they got together to really dive in to some of this pushback on the Hebrews to Negroes. I don't. Every time I say that, I get tongue tied. Hebrews to Negroes, and some of the twisting which they're doing, and the manipulating in the response, and how they literally call Kyrie anti-Semitic, although he shared a documentary which basically doesn't go into much at all about Jewish people. It mostly talks about Black people being Jews.
Mm-hmm.
But the book does have some things which is possible to push back on. And so they took the stuff from the book and then applied this to the situation and said, this is what Kyrie was talking about and saying. And so in here, they go through this thing with a fine-tooth comb. Like I said, it's 4 hours and 36 minutes, which I don't know if I don't know who all is going to go through it. If you guys do want to go through it, just go to the channel and see it on your own. It's Moxie approved. But for those who don't, I am going to be breaking this apart into sections, and then putting it on. Honestly, I feel like it's important enough that I might put it on all three platforms, just so the word gets out there. How they are twisting the narrative, and how the Rolling Stones, whoever wrote this article, and still to this moment, you still can go back to that Rolling Stones article and see that they're constantly making edits. So whoever is writing this Rolling Stone article knows they're being deceptive. They have to know that they're being deceptive, but that's part of the goal. So yeah, this was at 122. So when when Ye made the statement, I didn't even know I could be anti-Semitic for saying X. I'll show you. I was like, Of course, you know, if you say this or that, people would can or would consider that so-called anti-Semitic. But that's not what Ye was actually saying there. Going back to what I was saying before, he's a terrible communicator. Terrible. I'll show you what he was saying because We Woke Down goes into it and explains it much better. So let's put this on the screen and play.
Kanye says, when he says, hey, I did not know if I said my doctor is a Jew or Jewish. My lawyer is Jewish. My record label is Jewish. He said, I didn't know that that was considered anti-Semitic. So I'm going to play it here. Let me put it up here real quick. And I want y'all to really listen to his words because, man, it really puts things in its proper perspective. And we're going to go over what anti-Semitic is legally. So let me bring up Kanye West's words here when he was in that interview. Let me pull it up real quick. Let's see here. All right. I thought I had it here. Let me see. All right, here it is. Right? Let's pull it up. All right, it's taking a second to come.
All right, why? Okay.
I didn't realize that I could be considered anti-Semitic until I read one of the definitions of anti-Semitism. Look at this. The definition says, making mendacious, dehumanizing, demonizing, or stereotypical allegations about Jews as such.
Let me skip a little ahead because we don't need to hear Kanye reread this. Most of us have read this.
Is up in the top left corner of the backdrop here. But this is just a highlight of this here. Now, let me show a couple more things here about anti-Semitism. And this is why I said this word could be very, 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 very deceptive. Now, we're going to cover where it says here, contemporary examples of anti-Semitism. I'll say it again, contemporary examples of anti-Semitism. Now, notice this first one, Moxie. It says calling for, aiding, or justifying the killing or harming of Jews, often in the name of radical ideology or an extremist view of religion. So this gave them an opening when Kanye posted what he posted. Even though Kanye West came out and expressed that when he said death con, he actually meant DEFCON, which just means a higher sense of awareness for his defense. But again, by him saying DEFCON, he typed it in DEFCON. Guess what? That falls up under the contemporary examples of anti-Semitism. Whether it's, you know, he made an error or not, and he expressed it, and everyone knew he didn't mean it in the intention, I mean, the way that it was taken, but he gave him a room. That was a window of opportunity.
That's a fact. Let's just be real. Kanye was mad that they was taking money from him.
Yeah.
That's what he got. That's what he was mad at. I don't have a problem with Kanye. I don't fully ride with him because I felt like he was kind of selfish on how he's done all of this. But I still don't think that this man meant any kind of real negative harm toward the Jewish community. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I just want to say thank you, Kimberly. Thank you for the super chat. Go ahead.
And family, show some love for Kimberly for blessing this platform, supporting the platform. Show us some love for because it's not easy doing what we're doing here and providing this content. It takes a lot of time and effort to bring this information to you guys. It's not cheap. You know, when Moxie does all those edits and putting his videos together, time is money, and money is time. And he's putting a lot of effort to give you a high level of quality and the commentary that's on top of it. So support your channel, family.
I really appreciate that. And I just want to add too on that, every dollar that you give my channel and that you give We Woke Now, we appreciate it. So I also want y'all to understand too, we talking about a topic that
we good on this market.
Our page is gone. I mean, we haven't done anything. We haven't said any harm toward these communities. But even
no, it hasn't really got to the point
Pastor
yet.
Kelly is showing us right now. It's a very broad umbrella under there.
No, he's about to really bring out some stuff
hey,
in a
you
minute.
sneezed the wrong way. Like you said the word Jewish and then you sneeze. We don't like that. Take the page down. So we'd like to thank y'all for anybody that contributes to us because they could take my page anytime. Matter of fact, I'm gonna
skip
let
ahead
you
a little
keep
bit.
going. We won't. I'm gonna post a link up to my second page right now. It's a good time for me to do that.
Okay, but I'm just going to explain it though. He's given the definition of what I highlighted, right? And let me fast forward here. I want to go back to here because these are just playing it. But again, the myth about a world Jewish conspiracy or a Jews or of Jews controlling the media. Now, this is an article, right?
The one
December
that
19th,
I shared.
2008, titled LA Times, Who Runs Hollywood? Come on, by a Jewish, Ashkenazi Jew by the name of Joel Stein. He is a Jewish journalist, right? See, this is the key, family. We're using their source.
Now, I'll stop it there. But if you guys look at this and go to it in particular, you jump to about the 122 mark. This is where I was at. Yes, Kanye, the most canceled human on the planet. And if you even go into what Malcolm X was saying, Malcolm X was saying the same thing back in his day. I mean, there's literally movies about from Jewish people on how the Jews took over Hollywood. You can't sit there and come out books and movies and documentaries showing and saying this, that you yourself control something and then turn around and say, because somebody points it out, they're anti-Semitic. You said it with your own mouth and you've been saying it. Let me drop that down. You can literally, I can pull this up right now on YouTube. I'm trying to remember who sent it to me not that long ago. What is it? I want to see. Let's see if it pops up. Here we go. Right here on Unpacked. Let's get back over here. Let's drop that one for a moment, and let's bring this one up. Let's drop that one for a moment and bring this up, and let's just show you what's in the search results. When Jews ran Hollywood, vaudeville immigrants, and the American dream. The real reason Jews dominate Hollywood. This is out by the Jewish Learning Institute. Well, that's another thing. We're not going to go into that one. Real Hollywood, a short film made by Jews, run Hollywood. They're literally, Hollywood is run by Jews from Marlon Brando. I mean, this is just like pulling up just random searches.
This is stupid because you just look at the names at the end of all of the movies and shows you watch, and it tells you right there. So it seems as if they just don't want people realizing that they have all the chips, and because they don't want people to come after them type shit.
Well, we all know what it is behind the scenes. They sit there. Here's something that I want somebody to explain to me also. They say, well, it's a Jewish trope that you say Jewish people are wealthy and that they control banks. And why is it a trope?
Mm-hmm. Because
I mean,
we know
somebody.
That's the thing.
So the reason, and what I'm asking is, I know I asked that kind of like rhetorical, but what was it in Germany? Were they saying this about you? Was there any truth to it at all? Because even most stereotypes have some truth to it. When you realize Yeah, all black guys can jump. It's because a lot of black guys that you see in the NBA are some of the best jumpers and dunkers. The stereotype comes from somewhere. So if somebody has a stereotype about you having money and about you controlling industry, this came from somewhere. This ain't something that's just being made up from nowhere. But sorry, go ahead, Chris.
No, I'm saying there's some truth to it, but again, it just seems as if they don't want that pointed out, because then maybe people will start looking in that direction for change and or to begin demand a little bit more once you know who you need to go to. But that what's the saying? Just know who you can criticize or something to that effect.
Yeah, the misattributed quote that people say Voltaire said. But you got to be careful saying that one, because they'll be like, "Oh no, that comes from Jewish." I mean, not Jewish, but that comes from Nazi. What is it? Persecution, and that was Nazi propaganda. And so, if you say that, then they're going to say that you're using Nazi propaganda. Boom, anti-Semitic. That's just like what he was talking about in there. How this lawyer, and when you really go into it, and I'm going to break those apart, and so it's a little bit easier to digest them and to come back to them. But what he basically says in there is the legal definition, the way it's so long and broad, so many different ways, where if you say this the wrong way, it basically breaks down to, with all the different stipulations, if a Jewish person perceives that you are being anti-Semitic, you're anti-Semitic. You don't have to actually be anti-Semitic, but if it's perceived that you are, then you are.
It's used as a weapon, kid. It's just used as a brand to tag you and get you out of here. That's all it matters.
It's funny.
At a different time
you
in
said
life.
that.
Look, at a different point in history, it had a different meaning. Today, it's totally and completely a weapon. Whatever you want to call it, a sword, a gun, a bomb, whatever, a virus. It's a weapon that's used to, to quell certain conversations, to deem a person untouchable. And
I'm gonna try to say, because see, I'm gonna try to save you. This is what I've learned, especially as a Hebrew Israelite. This is what we've learned. When you just go out and say it, because you were looked at as a black man, you're anti-Semite. So what we do is we go out and find where this is more than other people saying this. Somebody who is considered to be a lot more credible. And I'm gonna show you guys something here. Let's pull this up real quick. I know some of you guys have already seen this, but I definitely want to show this because this illustrates the point a lot better. And shout out, I see Jimmy in the chat. Shout out to Jimmy. And who else did I see who crept in here? Myra's mom. So I want to say hi to both of you. So let's click on this. Let's make it big. And let's play. Take it back to the beginning. I might end up just clipping this and putting it on my page too.
Often when there is dissent expressed in the United States against policies of the Israeli government, people here are called anti-Semitic. What is your response to that as an Israeli Jew?
Well, it's a trick. We always use it. When from Europe somebody is criticizing Israel, then we bring up the Holocaust. When in this country people are criticizing Israel, then they are anti-Semitic. And the organization is strong and has a lot of money, and the ties between Israel and the American Jewish establishment are very strong, and they are strong in this country. As you know, they have power, which it's okay. They are talented people, and they have power, money, and media, and other things. And their attitude is Israel, my country, right or wrong, the identification. And they are not ready to hear criticism. And it's very easy to blame people who criticize certain acts of the Israeli government as anti-Semitic and to bring up the Holocaust and the suffering of the Jewish people, and that justify everything we do to the Palestinians.
Yeah. And so exactly, she sit up there giving and just so it can be said, this isn't just some random woman off the street. This is a former member of the Knesset. For those who don't know who the Knesset is the Israeli government. She was over the education department. And this is what she was saying openly. I mean, I ask people, where does this trope come from then? Where does it come from? Yeah, I mean, because I noticed Nicole brought that up.
It's smoke screen. You know what I'm saying? It's smoke screen tactics. You know what I mean? Let's get people to look elsewhere so you don't see what the hell is going on over here. You won't see that I got all the eggs in the basket and I'm just like rolling out one or two to a few artists here or there. And again, I'm really talking about, when I say that, I'm mainly talking about the entertainment industry.
Yeah, and here's another thing which I see often used as a defense. This level of conflation. You say one thing, that doesn't mean what you said, Chris. It actually means all this other stuff over here.
Yeah.
If I say that Jewish people have a lot of power in the hip hop industry, the response is, are you trying to say Jews control the whole world? Nobody said that. Why are you trying to change the narrative? Why are you changing the narrative to make us say something we didn't say? If I say entertainment industry, then it switched to, no, you're saying they control the whole world. Do I know what's going on in detail in every single country? No. And none of us are saying that. But by using this over-the-top hyperbole is a way of using defense. Like, I was going back and forth with a couple of Jewish gentlemen, and one of them I asked, I said, so if you're saying that you don't have that much power, Jewish people don't have that much power in America and virtually anything, I said, would you say that Black people in America, Latinos in America, and Native Americans in America have more significant businesses than you do? Well, I mean, no. Okay, so you're telling me that 2% of the population has more significant power over major businesses than, what are we saying, close to what, 45% of the population? 2% has more power than 45% of the population. You can't keep making this argument and claim. Now, if you say, hey, well, I'm Jewish and I don't have the power that these people have and I'm not connected to it, that's a different conversation. But you can't sit there and try to act and minimize when you can literally look up, what is it? I heard, what's his name? Peter Rosenberg say the other day, I think he said either 14 or 18 of the NBA owners are Jewish. How many teams are in the NBA, Chris? Oh, sorry. I guess he didn't hear me.
No, I was on mute. 30.
Oh.
There's 30 teams in the league.
So 30 teams. So you have what, 14 or 18, whatever the number is. You're literally telling me roughly half of the NBA is owned by 2% of the population?
Yeah. Correct.
And when you look throughout pro sports, you see the same thing over and over. If you own a team, you have control and you are controlling people. That's not hard to add 1 + 1, 2 + 2. But this is the game we have to play. This is the game we have to deal with. Or they'll use, well, out of the 50 people that they put on this list, 2 of them are dead and 3 of them aren't Jewish. Okay, so out of these, 50-something major organizations, still majority of the people you're naming are Jewish? That's that's nitpicking and I know what it is. I just wish that people would be more honest about this. This denial is because of a fear that's put in them that if the masses wake up to what's going on, then there's a possibility of another Holocaust. Now, I don't know what kind of level of paranoia you have to believe that in 2022, the United States is going to wake up and start a Holocaust
against that particular community.
Yes, I think it's, and I know where it comes from, because think about it. Anytime somebody gets in trouble, what's the first thing they say? You need to go to the Holocaust Museum. Well, why does anybody need to go to the Holocaust Museum when pretty much me and most people I know got very, very, very detailed education on the Holocaust in school? It's not like, oh, maybe if they go, then they'll learn what the Holocaust. We all know what the Holocaust is. One subject that everybody in school learns. That's the one subject everybody in history will learn about, bar none. You will learn about the Holocaust if you don't learn anything else.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that's wild. Sports are the biggest thing in the U.S. That's insane. And it's not just the NBA. I mean, easily, I'm just throwing this out there that I know of off the top of my head, but easily a third to half of the NFL, Major League Baseball, is the same way.
Mm-hmm.
So not only is it in movies, not only is it these major studios, not only is it even these television companies, it's in sports entertainment also. And then I'll hear people make these excuses like, oh, well, it's because we had to go into banking. Bullshit. You didn't have to go into nothing. You guys know how many plantations that were Jewish plantations in the United States? So it wasn't, oh, after 1945, we were coming over and had to pull ourselves up by our bootstraps. There were plenty of Jewish people who had plenty of power. Chase Bank is literally started off of slavery. I mean, it's ridiculous when we get into, these false excuses that we're always hearing. Let's see. What do we have over here? I'm just checking on the Rock Fan real quick, trying to share some of these comments. Don't rock the cash bad did press. And I can't see who gave us a super over there, but much love. I see Shelly is in the building also. Hey Shelly, glad to see you. What else do I see? Oh, Hemp Car, thank you. Oh, and if you go into Cuba, start looking up the slavery history there and see what you start noticing. See what you guys start noticing. Now, I talked a whole lot, Chris, so you go on ahead and hop in there.
No, I mean, just finish, because you just left me on like something about Cuba, and I'm like, oh, all right, good.
No, I'll hold it back, but go on ahead and hop in there.
No, I mean, hey, shit, that's a.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on a second. Give a shout out to Pacheco Roan. Says, hey, y'all, Sabby brought me here, bankers and lawyers. Hey, I didn't even have to say it. Thou sayest. I mean, think about it. In every movie, they literally put the stereotypes in the damn movies. Now, who's funding these movies? Who's producing these movies? Who's putting the casting on most of these movies? And so in their own movies, they're putting out their own stereotype that the lawyers are Jewish and doctors are Jewish. And then get mad when other people believe what you're putting out there. So sorry, go on ahead, sir.
No, I mean, I say this all the time. I mean, at this point, it kind of feels like I'm beating a dead horse, but you still have to kind of say it. The portrayal of us is not always positive.
Not always. Come on, drop the sarcasm.
Correct. The portrayals of us in their media is like for every positive image that is actually real, right? On some level, it's sandwiched between like a whole lot of bullshit, a whole lot of negativity, a whole lot of it. You know, some self-inflicted, some not. But it's not. But it's not good. You know, a lot of the times.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the funny part. It's like you watch these programs and you can look and say, well, look, the writer was black. The person who thought about the whole concept of this show is a black person, right? Let's just say we're talking about black programming. Cool. But who actually gets it on the airwaves? So yeah, we can say the creator, the content creators of whatever it is, we can criticize them or we can discuss what they did, why, how, etc. But it still doesn't make it on. It doesn't make it on your screen without the companies that produce this stuff. And the companies that produce this stuff are run by the Untouchable Group. You know what I mean? Because you have to be very careful in what you say and how you say it. It'll get
Well,
you pulled
the
out.
fact
I mean,
that you even have to be so careful is a sign.
correct. It pretty much is in itself. That's something that a lot of people, but you know, I've come to realize it all depends on where you grew up and what you were introduced to, and you know who put you on to things. Because a lot of people may not know these things, depending on where you grew up. Again, I always reference I grew up in New York City. It's very prevalent, you know, at a very young age. You learn certain things and you learn it very quickly. I'm sure to somebody else who grew up in maybe a part of Pennsylvania or some shit where there's not a huge community, you may not realize this, or any other you know, part of the country where that community doesn't have a huge influence on the
Yeah,
day-to-day.
I'm on that. I'm on that spectrum.
Yeah, because I'm sure where you grew up at, you didn't really have, you didn't see it all the time.
I see it all the time. I didn't see it.
Yeah.
So even when I hear a Jewish person say, "Man, you know those are Jewish. You know that these are anti-Semitic tropes and some of these stuff that they say and slurs." I'm like, do you realize where I grew up? I didn't know any Jewish people. How the heck would I know any of your slurs or whatever you're talking about? Which shows that there's a certain level of paranoia that is going on in that community. I don't want to say a persecution complex, but it's a certain degree of that. And I know a lot of that comes directly from Israel. If they have been back and forth to Israel before, that is definitely pushed. Does this channel have super chats? No, unfortunately not. We're a channel which will probably never get super chats. They're not a fan of us. I'll say that the most. In fact, normally a lot of our views get taken and cut in half after our shows. So that's something we can always count on. But if you did want to donate, you could always go on to you could hop over to our Rockman channel and then give us a super ray over there. Which, by the way, Chris, I don't know if you noted, we've crossed the 2,000 mark over on Rockfin. I think we're at like 2013 or something like that last I checked. So we're doing pretty good over there. After what was it, 5 months that we've been on? So what was it? This is something also that I wanted to share. Because especially since this man is probably coming back into power. And he looks like he's coming back into power with an even crazier cabinet than he had before. You know, let's bring you guys back an oldie, but a goodie. This man that you guys all know by the name of Benjamin Netanyahu. Now, if you haven't seen this, definitely recommend it.
You have to listen.
Well, read. You have to read what he's saying.
Oh yeah, same shit. But I mean, this is very telling, and I like this because this is an instance in which You can use shit like this to say, this is what happens. This is not my opinion. This is how they feel. This is what it is. So we're not talking about your opinions or feelings or anything like that. So, let me shut up so we could get to this part.
Yeah, just like after this, I might show you. I'm going to make sure to bring up one of my videos from Hebrew Apologetics to show you guys. But I'm going to put it a bit. Oh, yeah. Yipper, by the way. Yes, that is correct. And her sister owns 23andMe. So just because remember before I told you guys, a lot of this stuff comes from cronyism and nepotism at the same time. Of course, but Thomas, we ain't scared because and another thing is, as long as y'all still rocking with us, as long as y'all still care, what we're talking about, we're good. We don't have to blow up and be huge. And I would rather die knowing that, or not even necessarily. Let's not jump to. I would rather be canceled out.
Yeah, we ain't got to talk about death. Yeah, kid.
Well, I just got to put it. You never know how far these people. You never know how far certain powers that be might want to go. Are you? No, I'm not a part of Lefty News. No, we're not a part, but we are definitely pretty tight with them.
Oh yeah, those are guys.
Yeah, those are people. Shout out to Indy over there. But yeah, let this play. Make sure you guys pay close attention to what's been said. I'm gonna put it big, so that way you guys can read every little thing that's been said here.
לתת להם מכות, לא רק מכות כל כך מכילות, שהמחיר יהיה כבד מצוא. כרגע המחיר לא כבד מצוא. זה התקפה רבת היקף ברשות הפלסטינית. זה לפחד שהכל מתמוטט.
ואז, רגע, אבל אז העולם יגיד מה, אתם חושבים? אתה לא מפחד מהעולם, ביבי.
במיוחד היום עם אמריקה, אני יודע מה זה אמריקה. אמריקה זה דבר שאפשר להזיז אותו בקרוב, להזיז לכיוון הנכון.
למרות שהם בעדינו, אבל כאילו...
לא הפריעו.
אז שאני עושים איזה משהו, אז הם...
יש עליה, נניח שהם אומרים משהו. אז אמרו, 80% מהאמריקאים תומכים בנו. זה אבסורד, יש לנו שם תמיכה כזאת, ואנחנו אומרים מה נעשה עם הממשל הוא היה פרו-פלסטיני בצורה קיצונית. לא פחדתי להתעמת שם, לא פחדתי להתעמת עם קלינטון, לא פחדתי להתעמת עם אותם. בלאו הכי את המחיר הבינלאומי אני משלם, אז עדיף לי כבר לקבל תמורה.
Yeah, so I just wanted to share that with you all real quick. BB literally was telling you guys, man, I'm not worried about America. I control them over there, man.
He literally said, never mind what they may say. It doesn't matter because at the end of the day, they're going to do what we want them to do. Yes. So, as he said, he just stated that the Clinton administration in the 90s was very, at least on its face, was friendlier to the Palestinian community than prior presidents. It didn't matter though, because anytime Israel wanted to expand things, become extremely brutal to the Palestinian people, the United States they just say nice things and they do absolutely nothing. And they continue to contribute financially to that situation there. It's just like it's just kind of like Ukraine and shit now, right?
Well, speaking
of Ukraine and all these leaders and shit like that, this is a sidebar. Did you see your boy Sean Penn give Zelensky an Oscar for his performance?
Yeah, I've heard it was pretty horrible. I've heard it was pretty bad. Yes,
yeah,
Israel.
That's funny.
Thomas says Israel is the most far-right country in the world, right next to Ukraine and Saudi Arabia.
Right now, there.
They definitely are. That is a 1,000% fact. And with this new government that's in, remember what happened not that long ago with with Shireen Abu Akleh. Remember what happened with her at her funeral when they were literally brutalizing the people just because they were waving Palestinian flags at her funeral? I guarantee you we're about to have some more Temple Mount situations. If not, watching them literally take it. Because I don't know if you guys know about the story that's been going on in Israel, that it's believed that this new up and coming rabbi is believed by many of them that he is the Messiah that they've been waiting for. And so that's something that I think people need to keep their eyes on. Nobody's talking about it very much, but well, I say nobody outside of the religious circles or faith circles, communities which I'm in, are the only ones that talk about that. But that is going to be impactful because you do have a certain heavy sect in the government who are who are religious Zionists, not just secular Zionists, because there is a difference. There's a difference between the two. But the religious Zionists, in order for them to back the secular Zionists, they have to go along with certain, faith principles that they want. And part of it, a huge part of it, is taking the Temple Mount, because that has to do with certain prophecies which they interpret through the Mishnah. So that's something that needs to be looked at. Let's skip over. Let me see over on Rock Fan what we got going on. Got a lot going on over here. See Denver keeping the chat moving. I appreciate it. And whoever gave the tip, Himcar. Yes, 2 tips from Himcar. And shout out to anybody else who's over there watching right now. Shelly, all of you guys. Well, I see 16 watching right now. Oh, there we go. I see Nicole is over there also. Good. She found us. But let's now that I've kind of hit on the main one of the main topics which I wanted to hit on, that they are conflating the book with the documentary and making it as if that's what Kyrie is saying, even though the quotes which are being quoted from the book, which gets a little bit more edgy, majority of those quotes, there's only maybe 2 quotes in there that he does not source. The one where he says, I think, and I'm putting the disclaimer, I don't necessarily agree with any of the quotes or anything that I'm about to say here. I am just quoting what is in the documentary, or paraphrasing what's in the documentary, or not even in the documentary. It might be, well, I think this is in the documentary, maybe even in the book.
Hold on, Marcus, real quick. Yeah. Denver put in Rockfin that the 23andMe founder, that she's dating Sergey Brin.
No, she's not. Google. That can't be real. Denver, you got to be playing with me. You got to be playing. You got to be playing. That can't be real.
That's like
I don't know if everybody in the chat knows the significance of that, if that's real.
Is that
Denver, but Chris, fill him in on why that's such a big deal if that's who she's dating.
I mean,
who is Sergey? First of all, let everybody know who Sergey Brin is.
Well, Sergey Brin is, he's Google fame, Alphabet fame. He's one of the top people there. Or is he still involved? I don't know if he's involved so much in the day-to-day, but his hands are very much into everything in Google.
He's
for
many
years. Up until I'm going to say
he's higher than that now.
Is he the top guy at Alphabet Inc. now? Is that his
Alphabet, and he's one of the and I believe he's one of the chairman of let me double check. I believe it's BlackRock.
Okay, I know he was involved. But yeah, see, Sergey, he was the president of Alphabet, and he stepped down December 3 years ago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this dude is a very, very, very powerful man. Worth 78 billion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's noticed like you don't ever really hear about him. Yeah, let me just double check. Let me put BlackRock in and see if I'm correct. I think it's either BlackRock or Vanguard. I believe he's tied in with one of the two. Yeah, he does have no, he it's Alphabet, and he does own a little bit of stock in BlackRock. So this is an immensely powerful man. I mean, let's see. I think I found you on Rockfin, but I tried to put in my info and it knocked me out. Oh no! Hopefully, we'll just try again, and hopefully it'll get you in there. But I do appreciate the effort. Yes, 78 billion. But do you ever really hear much about this?
Oh, they
man?
were married. Okay.
They
He
were
said they
married.
were married.
Oh,
yeah, they
okay.
were.
But that's probably how why she got 20. That's probably why she got 23andMe then.
Wow.
Netanyahu, what does it say? Netanyahu's mentor was a huge fan of Mussolini.
Oh, Anne Wojcicki chick. Oh, that's right. Yes, I remember her.
Yeah, the Anne Wojcicki, and the one who is, I think, what is she, the CEO of YouTube? Is the other one? I can't remember her first name, but whatever. I don't know. I just call him Wookie. It's easier to call him a Wookie. I don't try to Wojcicki. I don't do all that. Says, and religious Zionist is an evangelical cult. It's a violation of when you look into the Mishnah, you start and people wonder why I might be saying Mishnah a lot and not necessarily Talmud. The Mishnah, there's two sides of the Talmud. You have one side where it is giving the laws of the Talmud, and then you have another side where it's three rabbis who are giving commentary on a certain law and giving their interpretation. And so through the three different interpretations is the guidance you're supposed to go with. So per whichever current rabbi or modern rabbi, they decide on which one they feel is more correct. And it's not uniform, from synagogue to synagogue. It varies. So you can't necessarily say they all believe this or they all believe that. It's going to vary from synagogue to synagogue. Oh, go ahead, Chris.
No, I was just looking at Thomas's comment. He said, "Isn't Kyrie part of the Nation of Islam?" I don't think.
No, he's not.
He gave a link.
Yeah, but even he. Well, see, that's where it gets confusing. Like last year, he was celebrating Ramadan. But one thing which the Nation of Islam believes is they both share the same belief with Hebrew Israelites that, well, they at least share this part. They both believe that that people who came over in the transatlantic slave trade are Israelites. Now, Hebrew Israelites believe other people are. They believe, speaking as one, that wheat and tares, that there will be Israelites that will come from every nation on earth. It's just that predominantly majority of Israelites are going to come from a handful of people, but there still will be remnants of Israelites throughout every different culture. So we do not go off of skin type. Now, there is a group that they call the Negro onlys. Some people that believe that every Israelite is necessarily a black person, but the majority of Hebrew Israelites, especially one West Israelites, go primarily with the so-called Negros, Latinos, and Native Americans in the Americas, and then the rest of the children of Israel will be spread out throughout. And then it also goes down patrilineally. So though you might have a different phenotype than those three that I mentioned, there is still a possibility of whatever going back through your father's father that you still could be Israelite. So just wanted to put that disclaimer, a difference between the Nation of Islam, where the Nation of Islam just believes it's black people that are Israelites, and Hebrew Israelites believe that Israelites can come in all different shapes and colors. It's just certain groups through the majority of that, getting a little tongue tied here, but those three groups that I mentioned, Black, Latinos, and Native Americans, as a whole, fit more the prophecies than anything else, and they're able to show archaeological stuff which backs up a lot of those things. So it doesn't rule out everybody, but it just says that we're a lot more positive on these three groups of people than anybody else.
They don't have a problem, you know. And to further comment on Thomas's message, they don't care about the documentary. They don't care. They know that, quite honestly, black people could call themselves anything they want: Buddhists, Muslims, Christian, Catholic, atheists, whatever.
You can say you were the original. You can say you were the original Chinese people, and that you actually ran the Ming Dynasty. You could say you were the original Native Americans, and that all the Native Americans are all fakes. You can say every group on the face of this earth. You can say you're those original people, but there is one group of people going ahead.
Yeah, they just get very upset when black men, mainly, when they start saying, "Hey, look, we're Jew, we're Israelite. You know, we're the descendants of Shem, etc., etc." You start to get into that. That upsets people and makes them really angry and frustrated.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand it's like a real hate, or not even hate. I won't say hate, but it's just a real dislike, more so than if somebody just says, "Hey, I'm Muslim," right? Muhammad Ali, obviously he took slack at the time for becoming Muslim, but that was back then. Since then, it is what it is. Now it's
but you got to remember the reason why. It's not that he just became a Muslim. If he was just a Muslim, broad-based Muslim, fitting into like a Sunni or Shiite, or even some of the smaller ones, a Baptist or something like that, that would be fine. But it's Nation of Islam, because Nation of Islam believe they are Israelites. That's why it's a problem.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you cannot go down that. It's that whenever you start saying you're an Israelite, there are about to be some problems.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's when you really run into a major issue.
Mm-hmm. I'm trying to remember, where's that one you sent me? I need to put that on. Oh, there it is. Was it through? Oh yes. Let's go to this Kanye tweet now. Yeah, it's time to get to the Kanye tweet. So, I mean, I will go in depth. Well, I'm not even really going to go in depth. Well, actually, I'm doing a live stream probably tomorrow afternoon on Hebrew apologetics, and I am going to probably go in a little deeper on some stuff. I kind of just say the little surface level and wanted to give my thoughts and pushback on why they're going after Kyrie so hard. And it's something I did want to bring up. I forgot. Did you see the Nick Cannon thing?
Oh, where yeah. Mm-hmm.
Which and by the way, shout out to Eye in the Sky. What you're saying kind of goes against the Bible, but that's perfectly fine. I'm not going to make that big of a deal about it. Throughout the Bible, it literally does say a chosen people. But we're not going to go into there. I see Ruby is in the building. But let's bring up, since we've already went, this Kyrie thing is more of a witch hunt. It's more about they don't like the opinions that he's saying. They don't like that he's spreading it to a large audience for them to even start looking into this information or having questions. That's where the issue is coming in. But Ye went into some other stuff. Ye really went kind of hard. So I'm gonna put this on the screen. I'm gonna need to step away to the commentators' little boys' room, and I will get this clip going first for you all. So, all right, is it shared? Let me see if it's on the screen.
Ruby, what's up?
Okay, cool. It's on the screen. And then if I'm not back in time, you take over, Chris, all right?
Yeah. I saw this clip too.
They try to suppress you, but that's how they try to categorize
They
you.
can't control me. You get what I'm saying? They can control Shaq. They can control Charles Barkley. They can control LeBron James. They can control Jay-Z and Beyonce.
But not you, man.
But they can't control me. You
Not
see, it
you.
ain't no name I won't name. It's up.
Not you.
You know what I'm saying? And just for Minister Farrakhan, I love you, but the way you read that, I took that as a slight. You know what I'm saying? I'm taking no disrespect from nobody. So let's get on the phone. Let's talk that out. I don't care who you are. I ain't taking no slice from nobody, right? I ain't taking no slice from nobody. It's God. That's the only person that I serve. My mom ain't here. My mama was sacrificed.
Me too.
You understand?
Yeah. I'm Christian.
Michael Jordan, what about him? His daddy, right? Bill Cosby, his son, right? Dr. Dre, his son. You know, out in Hollywood, a lot of people come up missing. Feels like it might be a lot of that in order to control, traumatize. They want to monetize and traumatize. And God loved me. You understand? They hit me. Gap, Adidas, all that away. Still Forbes, who hate me, right? Had to write net worth 400 million. Jesus is king. God loved me.
That's more important thing in life.
That's the thing. You know what I'm saying? And this truth is going to be heard. Y'all can't send none of y'all Meek Mills, y'all Puffies, y'all Lil Boozy, none of these names, none of these people that have to listen to y'all because they have legal. I never killed nobody, right? I'm the pussy that never killed nobody, right? But that means I can say whatever I want and not go to jail.
I saw this video yesterday. One, he actually seemed like, he had a little bit of sense with him. He actually seemed like he wasn't on 100 like he normally is. Look, after I saw this, I talked to a couple people. I said, it's either going to be car accident, plane accident, or suicide. He doesn't have much longer, especially start talking like that. He's going to make people start doing more research. He's going to create even more, as they like to say, conspiracy theorists. But, his days are numbered if he keeps talking like that. He should be, at this point, he should double check everything. Make sure brakes work on his vehicle. Make sure his driver is not in any financial situation or, you really have to be paranoid now. Now this is when they start to make you really, really look crazy. You got to watch for the hook though. But us as the spectators, we have to keep that in mind too as we watch this circus. Things are designed to look a certain way. So just keep that in mind as we watch all of these events unfold. A lot of this is designed to manipulate our emotions and to give energy to certain things and to put our focus in certain places. Let's keep that in mind as all of this passes us by. Oh, and shout out to Joe Biden. A lot of people say thank you for the student loan relief. I just wanted to throw that in there. You know, a lot of people were telling me that Biden is great and he's doing everything he campaigned on, and that shit is gone. But anyway, you know, back to Kanye.
Well, yeah, I see Vanti said there, LOL Chris, he needs to put a statement out. He's not suicidal. He kind of did on Drink Champs. He's like, if y'all kill me right
It is
now,
sad.
he said, if y'all kill me right now. So he was basically putting out the fact and talking about, well, people go missing and stuff. I mean, if they do it, or let's not even, I put it this way, it's to the point now, even if it's a car accident and he does go out, he automatically, all it's going to do is make everything he's saying, whether it's nonsense or not, look 1,000 times more credible. That's all it's going to do. So if they want things to, go kind of like how I feel this Kyrie thing has went, that would be the angle to go, because they honestly felt like they were going to say what they need to say. But because I saw this about to build up. I remember when the reporter came out, start questioning him on it. He kind of shut it down. I was like, yeah, that ain't going to be the end of this. And then next thing you know, they have the reporter doing all the rounds on all the different TV shows. Then after that, you start seeing the people pushing back saying, well, he needs to say this, he needs to do this. And then you saw the suspension come down. Then later on after that, you saw the list come out, that all the stuff they want him to do. But somewhere in there, how everything was working, it started going off the rails. You start having more and more people pushing back and being like, no. What y'all are doing, this dude apologized. You might not have liked the apology, but normally when somebody apologizes, it normally deads the issue. But this didn't. Yeah.
No, I was looking at Thomas's comment, right? I think Biden knew loan forgiveness would be canceled by the Supreme Court. It's a symbolic gesture, right?
Of course it was.
To that extent, yes, right? They knew that there was no way they were going to let this actually happen. And so, you know, it was done in such a way to allow the Supreme Court to get involved, to say like, sorry, bitch, you can't do this, right? It's the same kind of bullshit.
No, he went over and told them, hey, y'all make sure y'all kill this shit.
You know, it's the same thing with their whole we're going to release prisoners for marijuana possession, as if the federal prison is stuffed with people in prison right now for just simple possession of marijuana. You know what I'm saying? Nobody was released from prison, from feds, under this new program. Again, it's just smoke screen. So for the people who may tune in who want a little bit of political analysis, because the show is called The Political Matrix, that's our political analysis. It's, if you're gonna watch it, you should just watch it for the inconsistencies and the hypocrisies that exist.
This is a level of politics also, dealing with this Kyrie stuff, because this has been something which has literally dominated. It's pushed the stuff which is going on with Ukraine to the back front. It's pushed the stuff that's been going on, or Ukraine, Russia. It's pushed the stuff that's been going on with China and Taiwan to the back. It's been something that's pushed the stuff that's been going on with North Korea. Iran has been kind of pushed to the back. And I ask you, why? I mean, I'm trying to remember, when's the last time I remember something trending, literally one topic trending on Twitter for a month straight every day? I can't think of anything.
Yeah, it's definitely staying there. It's weird. I don't know if you said this earlier, but since we're on the subject of Kyrie, I just want to say the amount of black men in particular, who have gotten on their particular platform to be so openly critical of Kyrie Irving, with the same adage, saying the same bullshit of, quote, you brought this on yourself, you should know better. Bro, I mean, let's look at what he did. He shared a video on his social media platform, period. He was a basketball player because he showed that. They questioned him about it after his basketball game, right? This reporter, and that's why some of this even is like, is this like part of a show too? You have to consider it, but it's weird because post game, they're not asking about basketball. They managed to get onto the reporter who was stuck on asking him about anti-Semitism, and then we get lost in that. Right? It's not even a discussion of what was in the actual documentary or anything else. It's just like, are you anti-Semitic or not? To the black people who have been watching this, as Kanye mentioned, Charles Barkley, Shaquille O'Neal, Shannon Sharp, Reggie Miller. The way that they coming down on Kyrie, you would have thought that they caught him with all of their girlfriends or wives, in compromising positions, the way that they coming at him. And it's really pathetic that they have to come down on them. But all that does for me is just show how much actually financially those people are tied in with their bosses. Yeah. Because you should be saying, like, look, if that's what Kyrie feels like, that's what Kyrie feels like, and that's it. And I'm glad Thomas wrote that. When Shorty, what's her name? Who said it? Laura Ingraham or was it Nicole Wallace? I can't remember who said it. But
was it Laura Ingraham? I think it was Laura Ingraham.
I think so. So when she said "shut up and dribble" to LeBron, everybody wanted to feign outrage, right? Now we got same black people basically telling Kyrie "shut up and dribble" on behalf of their bosses and masters. So when the white person comes around and says "shut the fuck up and dribble," don't be upset. Save your fake ass outrage, right? Just say okay and keep it pushing.
Well, I mean, I take it back even further than that. This is that same scenario which you had during slavery. You had one slave who he spoke up, and he might decide, you know what, I'm going to take my lashings on this one. Go on ahead, go hang me out there and whip me, but I'm not backing down on this issue. If you're going to kill me, go on ahead and kill me. I'm not backing down. But there were some of them who were inside that house who was like, hey, man, you better not go too far against Master, man. And that's a problem. Master, man, he feeds us good. Man, do you really want to lose all the good treatment that Master does to us? I mean, he's not. Those other plantation masters, they could be even worse, man. You sure you? The point of the fact of the matter is you're still a slave.
Think about it like this.
One last thing I want to say because if you guys see that Nick Cannon clip, that shows controlled opposition. I'll go into that in a second, but go ahead, Chris.
Marcus, we discuss a lot of conspiracies, and we do play around with conspiracy theories here and there on this program, right? This is an actual real live conspiracy unfolding in front of us. Like, this is not even a theory, right? Ari Emanuel puts the fucking, he puts the balloon out in the air, the smoke signal out in the air, and everybody reacts to it as it relates to Ye. We see Nike drops Kyrie they dropped Kyrie last week, right? And Phil Knight does an interview, and what does he say? Kyrie went too far. We probably won't have him back, or something to that effect. So, little boy, you got out your place. Now we ain't messing with you no more. Nike we know Nike's we know they're the gold standard for companies that make sure that their product is made by people who are compensated well. The work conditions are excellent. They offer benefits. They offer a great healthcare package. So Nike really can stand on that their product is brought to us in the safest, best possible way, that they are the model company. So I guess they can take the moral high ground as it relates to Kyrie Irving, even though there's no moral high ground to stand on, because anyway, like I said, I don't want to get lost in that. But it's just ironic that they would have that statement, I hope everybody caught my sarcasm as it relates to Nike.
I wanted to throw up this real quick, which I see that Shelly was talking about over here. Says, in the early 60s, early 60s, the CIA discovered Demona and its operations. I think it was when South America was selling them nukes until they set the where's that? Keep going. Set the facility, and then Himcar says, "So should I be worried? I got emails from Mossad assassins." That's funny. Says Demona and JFK assassinations are most definitely linked. That is true. That is I believe it's what 4 days before his assassination, he was talking about, you know, looking into the to if nuclear if Israel had nuclear weapons. And like I said earlier, when I was talking about looking to the roots of slavery in Cuba, I don't want to get us in too much trouble here on YouTube, but let's just say that certain slave masters in that area who had a lot of power had connections to all of this stuff we're talking about, and Cuban Missile Crises, and all of this stuff is connected and linked. Just keep that in mind. Oh yeah, that's what I wanted to show you. That's what I wanted to show everybody. Let's see what else is in here. What was it? Who asked that question? Who asked that question?
Which one?
I think it was Mr. Streets. He says, do you guys believe these are the days like Noah? If so, what trending things do you expect? I have been telling you all now for going on 2 years. You guys might not have knew what I've been telling you, but you guys notice how everything I've been saying a few months down the road on as far as world events, you guys have been seeing these things. And it's not because I got a crystal ball somewhere, or I'm sitting up there shaking up the little 8-ball, or it's not sitting there with some tarot cards. I'm literally reading the Bible. And if you can understand, see, the thing is, in Christianity, they don't teach you damn near anything, what anything means. And so if you don't understand what different nations are and who certain nations of people, I'm talking about by and large, not every single person, because there's a certain degree of, you know, the wheats and the tares, the sheeps and the goats, whatever metaphor you want to use, to not everybody of this nation being of this nation. So some people who think that there's certain nations are not that nation. But that said, if you can look at by and large at the top levels, who certain nations are, who's actually doing what, the Bible does predict these things. It predicts certain events, which I'm looking at all over the world. It talks about when you start going into the four carpenters, and it describes the certain things about those four carpenters. You can see four nations together, BRICS, which fit the description of these: Brazil, Russia, India, and China. They fit the description of the four BRICS nations. When it starts talking about the 10 toes or the 10 horns, if it's in Revelations, that breaks down into the new European different states. It starts talking about Babylon, and Babylon being this great kingdom and all that, which has a mixture of Sodom and a mixture of Egypt. It starts talking about all these things, that it's spiritually these nations. You can see it talking. I mean, for me, it's very clear. That's what made me double down on the Bible, because if they were able to predict events that happen in the future, and I'm seeing this, not like, oh, well, one day it's going to rain. I mean, it's not like some vague, it's literally saying, if you can read and break down that, yes, it's going to come a time when Russia is going to team up with the United States, and they're going to launch missiles and destroy Mystery Babylon. Does it say missiles? No. But it says that a destruction is going to come within an hour. Who the hell 2,000 years ago could predict any weapon that could destroy a whole nation in an hour. That literally people would die with their eyes and their tongues melting in their sockets. This is stuff that's in the Bible. And so for me, I definitely believe we're closer to that time period. Now, does that mean it's going to be within a year? Does that mean it's going to be 10 years? Does it mean it's going to be 30 years? I can't say that for certain, but I definitely believe that we're in those time periods, if that answers your question, sir. What else did I want to say? Over onto the rock side. That's the reason why I say, like, a lot of times I deal with Christians, and especially on my Hebrew apologetics page, and I apologize to you secular people who don't want to hear any of this, but a lot of the stuff which they'll look at me like I have no clue what I'm talking about. And I'm like, you do realize, like, for most of my life, I believed exactly what you believe. So anything you're telling me is not going to be anything new. But that's what we have to deal with here. But what I wanted to show you back on to, yeah, that's right. I was going to talk about buck breaking. A lot of people talk about the buck breaking thing, and they say, oh, well, that was just when they whipped them a whole lot and made everybody watch. In the Caribbean in particular, the buck breaking went into raping a lot of times. So a lot of slave masters were raping them on plantations too. So I just wanted to put that out there. When they just say buck breaking, they always refer to the whipping part. There was all kinds of stuff done. I mean, some of it was kicking out people's teeth. Some of it was, I'm going to go take your wife in there. I'm going to go take your kid, do ungodly things to them. So buck breaking is any form that they seem deemed to break you down or make you submit. And that's what they were talking about when Nick Cannon was bringing out the 6 things that they wanted him to do. How a lot of people are like, whoa, now you're going a little too far. Yes, Extra Bullet, thank you for hopping in there. Make sure you guys, or if you're not subscribed to Extra Bullet, please go subscribe to them and hop over there after this. We're not going to be going too much longer. I have to get some food in my belly, but definitely. Marion says that's actually exact what I think of when I hear buck breaking. Yeah, I mean, a lot of times they took the biggest one, they literally raped him. So but what I wanted to share, because I know I've shared this video before, which I did over there on Hebrew Apologetics, but I normally show most of the entertainment side. I want to go back into the politics side, because this is
Marcus. Did you see
the Matrix?
Real quick before you pull that up, I just want to derail the conversation totally. Did you see Black Panther yet?
No, I might go see it tomorrow, maybe.
I just saw it on. They got a clear copy online. I saw it earlier.
Hey, send that shit to me.
I'll send you the link, man.
Yeah,
I saw it earlier. We could talk about that. There's a couple of things that are like,
Well, I already saw that Judge Joe Brown. He pretty much flamed it up. I didn't watch it yet. I got it saved to watch, but he said a lot of things which I was kind of. We'll just have to talk about it because we're going to go all the way conspiracy theories, no proof. There's going to be no proof at all to anything that I'm going to say.
We'll do.
But my theories on what I feel like is going on a lot of things. And
there's a couple movies that are tied together that seem to point us to a narrative. But I want to do that. Oh, Mr. Street said he saw it today. Paid attention. Yeah. See, we'll get into that because I would like to discuss it with you after you have seen it. Because again, and we pay attention to pop culture because quite honestly, that's what drives a lot of us. A lot of us aren't sitting around in the libraries reading books by top professors and shit like that. We all
Hey,
dealing
some of us are, okay.
with shit like that, man.
Some of
You
us
know what I mean?
are, all right.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you just gotta have a little fun, man. It can't be all fucking just, yeah, it just can't be that. You gotta enjoy life sometimes, you know what I mean? And some of this entertainment shit, yeah, I know it's meant to distract us, but it is what it is, man. We can't just all, all the fucking time.
Yeah, I mean, I literally got like, dude, if you see the books which I have put in my like my what is it in my cart that saved you, I'm like, that's really what you're reading? Wow. Okay. That sounds kind of boring or depressing. But I wanted to pull this up one more time. This will probably be the last time I'll bring this up for a while because I think most people have seen it. I mean, well, they've seen me bring it up, but most people haven't watched it yet. I mean, it's still pretty low. What is it? 44 views. So I honestly think this is an extremely underrated clip. And especially right now, it's very pertinent. It's only 20 minutes long. The editing is not the greatest, but it definitely the information is key in there. So I wanted to show you guys some stuff into politics. You guys see what the title is. And this goes back to that narrative of, we don't have any power. Or like I heard somebody the other day, I was having this conversation. And they were like, oh, well, after World War II, they just got all this power through the entertainment industry. I want you guys to look at some of the dates on this. Look at the dates that some of these people were in power. And tell me if if after 1945 is when all of a sudden Jewish people start getting some power. So let's start it. Where's it? Here we go. That was 1965 there. But let's keep going because it's a little older back. Plenty of power you're seeing easily in the 60s and 70s. Up to the 90s. Like you see, a lot of these people are lieutenant governors and governors. A couple senators here and there. Just keep watching these dates. Lehman, does that name sound familiar? Lehman Brothers? 1870, governor of Washington Territory. 1862, governor of Virginia. When they're like, oh, we don't have any really power. No, it just happened after like 1945. We're dirt poor, but somehow in less than 20 years, we all automatically were becoming governors and senators.
Oh, it's Spitzer. I haven't seen his big head ass in a long time. I wonder what he's up to. I wonder if he got his like little habit under control.
1915, governor of Idaho. Oh, I guess I put that one in there twice. But, like, I didn't even know Hickenlooper wasn't. I mean, not Hickenlooper, but Bennett. That one actually shocked me. 1917. 1931, governor of New Mexico. 1933, governor of Illinois. It's funny, a lot of these governors of Illinois, actually, plenty of them have had a lot of scandals. 1931, governor of Oregon. And some people might feel like, oh, well, you're just like, you're targeting and this isn't fair. Keep in mind, we're talking about 2% of the population. 1887, governor of California. We're talking about 2% of the population. How many Native Americans can you tell me that have any of these positions? And Native Americans are roughly about the same population. You probably can count Native Americans who have had any of these positions on two hands. Yeah, I mean, because I just think it's mind-boggling that people try to act like, oh, no, it's just 1945 is when some people got some power. Not true. You notice Pritzker in there twice? Was it husband and wife, I believe? I keep noticing one common theme. See,
I was going to say we don't even have to even let this thing even run anymore. I mean, the point is.
Oh no! I want this point hammered home. Just look at these titles of these positions.
Mm-hmm.
Because some people are just, oh, there was only a couple of different spots here and there. No. It's a lot in the Treasury. A lot in the Treasury. No, there's a lot in the Treasury. Seen a couple of CIA. See Commerce in there. FBI. I mean, not FBI. Homeland Security.
Mm-hmm. Thomas knows. Mm-hmm.
I'm just trying to hammer this point down. Showing some receipts here because it did take me a while to do this. But I mean, so somebody's just not. I was sitting there like, oh, 33rd governor of Oregon. Man, it must be a heavy Jewish population in Oregon. I did not know. Confederate general right there. And slave owner, by the way. He was actually one of the wealthiest Jewish men at that time, Judah Benjamin. Oh yeah, I want all the overkill. Actually, not even overkill. I'm just because I remember what's his name. He's like, oh well, why don't you name some names? These are donors. Just some of them. Just some of the donors. More donors here. Well, Treasury. I think these are. I can't remember Treasury, but I can leave it there. And I could have kept going. This video could have been an hour long. This video could have been an hour long. Easily. Oh, Thomas says there are less Jewish than Native Americans, yet Jews have hundreds times more representation than natives, even more than. That's what I said. You can take natives, Latinos, and blacks all together, and the Jewish population, which represents about 2%, has more than the roughly 40 to what I think I totaled it to around like 44%. 2% has more than 44% of people. And then let's say we throw people of Arabic descent. Now we're over 50%. Over 50%. Young Morpheus, can you bring up the Messiah thing again going on in Israel? Oh, about their Messiah that they were talking about. Yes. I'll pull that up real quick because a lot of people who are not in the faith community haven't really paying attention to any of that. But this has been a big buzz. Like all of them are like literally kissing this man's ring, and he's flying around all these different places. Let's see, where is he at? Let's see, where is he at? Just looking. Where is he at? I'm trying to remember, what was the guy's name? Well, these people, Yanuk Rav Shlomo Yehuda. So let me put it on the screen. Let's get to him. Like, he's a young guy. He actually has a YouTube channel also, too. He actually has a YouTube channel. So let me share a screen. So I'm going to mute this and just play a little bit of it. Like, look at him. They're like treating this guy like a rock star. Like, everybody's all crowded around him, and you know, he's went to New York and he's met like all the top rabbis there. Like, they say, oh, he knows the Torah and the Mishnah and everything. His understanding is far more superior than all the other rabbis, and that's the reason why I say watch out for Israel and the possibility, especially with Netanyahu coming back in, that there might be a look at it. See how they're starting to block off the streets and everything for him to get around. Like, everybody's trying to get close to this guy, like he's a rock star, literally. And I mean, that's what I'm saying. Part of their prophecy is they need the Temple Mount because they believe that they need to build the third temple. And the location of the third temple is where, according to their rabbinic traditions, is in the same location as the Islamic Temple Mount. This is what's going on over there. Like, look at him, they're kissing his hands. Oh, are they going to show it? Are they going to show it? Him doing mikvah?
What is this, the Wailing? No, it's not the Wailing Wall, is it?
No. Oh, they showed it. Oh, gross. Well, they didn't show it, but for those who don't know what a mikvah is, I think I got it right. But a mikvah is a circumcision, and a rabbi's mouth is involved. I'll just say that. Let's see. I hope I'm saying it right. Travius Harrell says Operation Paperclip was just the end, but young Morpheus is trying to tell y'all, Jewish people that been here a long time. Well, what I'm trying to tell you all is that there's a lot of things going on, and if we decide to not look and vet and for every information, I've looked up information on the KKK. Does that mean I'm going to join the KKK? No. I've looked up information on the Klan, on Nazis, on white supremacist groups. Does that mean I'm going to join any of these organizations? No, it doesn't. But also keep in mind that just because somebody will throw out, well, that's something the Nazis said, doesn't 100% of the time mean it's wrong. It could mean 98, 99% it's wrong. But there's still that 1% chance or 2% chance that something in there is correct. And so if we're not vetting the information, we're just shutting stuff down all the way and not listening to anything, then you miss the grains of truth that are in there. And so I do advise for everybody to do the same. Thomas says, I see some of the America's biggest imperialists on the list. Exactly. And if you're like me, a lot of us didn't grow up around Jewish people. So when we're seeing random white people on TV, to us, they're just white people. It was no, oh, we're going after them because they're Jewish. No, it was, I don't like this person because I don't like this person. And they just happen to be white, or they just happen to be Jewish. But says, how is the ex-Israeli prime minister coming back? Well, he has through his combined cabinet, he actually has the amount of votes, and so he's actually leading, even though he's still under investigation for corruption. Yes, even though he's still under investigation. It's looking.
Wasn't his wife? His wife was convicted too, I believe.
Correct. And so, even though that he is yeah,
their parliament system allows for him to return to power every couple of years. This dude is never going away. He's kind of like the.
This is what, the third or fourth time.
Yeah, he's kind of like the Dick Cheney of Israeli politics. Motherfucker just don't go away. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And probably he got offspring that's coming up behind him too, just like Liz Cheney. Speaking of which, Democrats are so pathetic. I know this is just random, but the way I see them sucking off Liz Cheney because she's quote anti-Trump, it's really pathetic. And I just want the people the vote blue people to know that. Back to our regularly scheduled programming. Go ahead.
BB is untouchable.
Of course, he's in it.
And I want to respond back to Mr. Street real quick. He says, Scripture says that the third temple will not be built by man, and do not measure the building. Exactly, because if you actually did the real measurements, which it says, it would literally like go all the way into the stratosphere. It's like it'd be so ridiculous how big it would be. Like the temple would literally be bigger than like continents. That's how large it would be. So it's obviously that's not what it's talking about. It's a metaphor. It's a misunderstanding some people have. But if you know anything about people who believe in the Talmud goes against the Torah so much, so much that it's almost ridiculous to say that you believe in the Torah and the Talmud, because they literally contradict each other. So that's what I will say on that. Let's hop over here real quick.
Hold on. Marcus, I want to say a dingo says Benjamin Netanyahu herpes came back. Shelley Olmsted said Netanyahu is the herpes of Israel.
Yeah, that dude, they can't get rid of him. That whole country is just scratching. Like, damn, I think I feel a case of BB coming back.
Mm-hmm.
BB on my PP coming back. If the master, Denver says, if the master has the result to the lash, it's a sign of him losing control in operation management terms, but that could be characterized as failure to prevent such confrontations or fix a fail. Well, and then you have some people who are just fucking brutal, who are sadistic, who enjoy punishment. So, I mean, you do have to deal with that also. I think that's it. Neat show, but my internet is totally lagging. It's probably it's not your internet. It's probably just Rockfin, because when we start on YouTube ahead of Rockfin, so it has that little delay. So sorry about that, Milburn. But definitely glad you're here. Everybody knows that they're always been powerful, but the thing about it is, if you live in the major coastal cities, that's where you see it. If you live like where I live now in LA, New York City has the highest Jewish population, followed next by LA, followed next by like a couple of cities in the Northeast, and then Florida, and then like Chicago. So it's basically like 8 cities that if everybody who was Jewish left there and went back to Israel, the Jewish population, 90% of them would have left the country. I mean, that's how, it's not like how you can go to Wyoming and there's a good, decent black population, which might be there. And it's like kind of spread kind of evenly across most of these states. Go to North Carolina, you find a lot of Jewish people, but not Jewish people, black people, or even Native Americans. They're spread across the nation. Small population, but still, here's some here, here's some here, here's some here, here's some. There's not a state where there are not reservations. Populations are different or larger in some places than others, but when it comes to the Jewish population, they're mostly in a handful of cities. And so maybe the people who live around them deal with them more often, and maybe because they run into maybe certain what they feel might be tropes or anti-Semitism, whatever, they might feel everybody knows this, but no, there's literally half the country who don't grow up around you, who don't live around you, who don't know. Like when I was hearing some of the stuff about hook noses and all that stuff, I'm like, oh, the Harry Potter stuff. Somebody was saying that Harry Potter was anti-Semitic, and I'm like, how? What's going on in there? Well, some Jewish people said, well, these bankers, they had big ears and big noses. I'm like, is that a stereotype of Jewish people? Like, I don't know. And there's a large portion of people who don't know any of these stereotypes, which some Jewish people will say you're being anti-Semitic for saying, or we don't even equate that that's a Jewish person. You know what I'm saying? To us, there's a lot of celebrities, which if you watch the first part of that video, there's a good chunk of people I had no clue until I was doing the research were Jewish. So just wanted to say that. Oh, and Mary says, agree with that Liz Cheney remark. Was that Connecticut?
I'm just saying the way that they've been carrying on about Liz Cheney. You know, again, I've said it before on this show. The Trump derangement syndrome is a very real thing, and it has turned these people into, well, not even turned them into anything. They were already that. It just exposed them for what they really were the entire time.
Well, I was noticing Mr. Street says, well, and to respond to Mary's comment, what you have is you have the people who still run the Democratic Party. Their mindset, their goal and wish has always been to have Republicans agree with them. And it doesn't matter if the Republican is like casted out from society of the Republicans. They really, truly believe if they can get that Republican, then that Republican would somehow give them legitimacy to other Republicans, which is fucking ridiculous. It's the same thing as the Republicans. If they can get like one person in hip hop who will spout some Republican talking points, they raise him up because they just want somebody who appears to be from the other side to somewhat, they think, validate their point of view, and they feel like it's going to help their side, but it doesn't. Neither way, it doesn't work like that either way. I will give this one to you, Chris, this question, because disclosure, Mr. Streets, I do not celebrate Thanksgiving, or as I call it, Thanksgiving. I will not celebrate the holiday which honors the killing of some of my relatives and some of my brothers out there, like Thomas, you know, the genociding of tribes. I can't do it. So I don't celebrate it. But if I did have anything like that, I honestly wouldn't want any of them over at my house, because Kanye seems like he's just so all over the place that you would literally have to like put him on pause to try to be like, okay, now who is this person here you're talking about? Okay, now stop. Now who is that person? Now stop. Because he talks about like 4 different topics at the same time and just blends a lot of stuff, so he's confusing. But Democrats and Republicans, I don't want none of them motherfuckers in my house ever. But going ahead, who would you prefer, Chris?
Oh, I mean, I would take neither, but I mean, if I had to choose the 3, I'd just tell Ye to come through. Maybe I'll just be able to get some music. That's about it.
Well, and here, this is Thomas goes down to what I just said. He said, I've never met a Jewish person in my life living in Western Oklahoma and South Central South Dakota, but I see them all over MSM and high-end positions. I mean, it's the same thing. Growing up in the Midwest, I saw Jewish people on TV on Hollywood and stuff like that, but I like virtually would never run into a Jewish person. I don't remember ever driving past a synagogue. I don't ever remember any kind of people saying, well, I can't work on Friday because of, you know, I worship the Sabbath. That didn't exist where I grew up. You didn't see it. Mm-hmm. And, you know, being what the state right above, Thomas, I can attest that, you know, the Oklahoma to Kansas to Missouri to Iowa, like a big chunk of the Midwest, virtually that's not common that you would run into a Jewish person in real life, that you would meet a Jewish person. It's kind of like living on the East Coast and meeting a Samoan person. That kind of just doesn't happen. I mean, but you do meet plenty of tribal people. That is definitely something. And I've been out to my grandmother's reservation my grandmother's family was from, but even though she was a practicing Christian and kind of forsaked a lot of her native traditional stuff, I do remember like going out and actually like just visiting because she's visiting family when I was younger. But it's a lot more common. I mean, well, most of the names of the places still literally have Native American tribal names. Kansas comes from the Kansas Indians, and like one of the major rivers, the Kaw River, and you know, the Shawnee tribes, and there's just so many tribal names, and it's been like wiped out to put white men there. But let me not go down another tangent. All right, so yeah, I know John. It's a different story for him and Shy. Very different story. I didn't even know. Allie sent me something. They had a Rothschild liquor store in one of these places. All right, but that's about all I have. Yipper says I met one Jew, wasn't religious, acted urban, always skipped classes. But yeah, I think we can leave it there. Let's see how backed up I am on
No, we good on Rockfin.
Holocaust was 4 years actually. MCAR said Holocaust was what 6 to 12 years. Actually, it was what technically 1941 to 45. The war itself was roughly about 12 years or so, maybe. I want to say some people credit it starting around what 33 to 45. Colonialism in Africa, 400 years, actually more. It goes back farther than that. Occupation of America since 1600s, or I would say 1400s. When they start going into West Africa, Prince Henry of Portugal, that was 1441, when they start taking slaves out of West Africa and taking them into Europe. And then shortly, that's the reason why anybody tries to tell me Christopher Columbus came over here on accident, because that he was trying to find India is BS to me. For one, why would he have so-called called it the West Indies when the term Indies hadn't even been created for the Indies over there? So
Yeah, I mean, it was just a fuck up because they just said, "Oh yeah, we're in West
it wasn't
India."
it wasn't a fuck up. He knew exactly where he was going. He knew there were people over here. He knew there were people over here, and he came over here with the intent to rob, steal, and kill. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. They knew.
Yeah,
I mean, well, there's also like so many other nations which had already been trading with people here well before that time period. So you can't sit there and try to act like, oh, we don't know what's a land over there. BS. I can't remember their name, but there was people from the Middle East who used to like trade everywhere. And like there's remnants of like turkey bones and stuff like that, which are not native to the Middle East, that go back, all the way to that time period. So obviously they were trading with somebody over in the Americas. There's certain metals and stuff that are mixed that they were finding from arrowheads that are hundreds of years before any Europeans got here. So they was trading with somebody. And then there was a small group of African tribes which did come over to the Americas and then set up little small communities and were trading back and forth with the natives. So you can't tell me that they did not know. He had no clue where he was going. He had no clue what he was going to run into. So just say that. Enjoying hearing some of your history, Marcus, and that you respect both of them. You damn right I respect blacks and natives. A lot of black people like to get hung up on the 5 tribes which held slaves, but ignore the tribes which were helping slaves escape. Also, a lot of people don't realize how many natives were in slavery still at the same time as black people were in slavery. So I mean, it's a history that's intertwined. And then when they're focusing on natives who own slaves, they also leave out the fact that some black people got out of slavery and then enslaved other black people. So it's not clear cut any of the history. It's all muddied up, and you just got to dig back in, look at it, and look at it with an open eye. For anyone to think that those powerful, rich, smart Africans did not sell the seas, you're correct. Exactly. And you're going to try to tell me that Europe, which is not that far, that some people who are all the way in the north tip did not just creep over to Canada? You're going to tell me that people from Russia weren't coming over and connecting to I mean, it's just nonsense. They were definitely going over to Alaska and stuff like that. That's the reason why Russians own land in California. But I'll keep going forever, and I need to wrap it up. But I thank you and appreciate everybody for hopping in here and being with us tonight. Chris, go ahead and say your line. I don't want to steal your thunder.
No, it's all good. And everybody who came through, thank you. We appreciate it. You know, one of the good things about not being a channel with 10,000 viewers and subscribers is that you actually have time to interact with the people in the chat. You know, we can actually take some of what you say in there. We can look it up. We can discuss it. So I think that part is cool. I watch some other programs in which they have a lot of other like larger channels or bigger, way more people. I see why they don't pay attention to their chat. It just moves way too fast. You can't really have that interaction. And good luck trying to pick one comment out and respond to it and find the person again. You just can't. You kind of have to stick to your programming.
Yeah,
I like
definitely.
that. Yeah, we name the show. We say that we're going to discuss this, and that. But depending on how we interact with the chat, we can go many different places. So I appreciate that. So thank you, everybody.
I like that. I think it makes it more fun that way. I mean, and we're able to engage and actually have a conversation. I feel like that's something that, I mean, I do see some large channels that they might pick out one comment here and there, or pick out only the super chats or something. But I like the fact that we are still able to engage our people. Humanitarian genocide.
Let me finish, Marcus. Let me just finish real quick. And like I always say, there's a lot of things that go on in the world that make people feel like just negative, right? Don't worry about the world. As I always say, take care of you and your own, and go from there, because that is all you can do. And health is wealth and all that good shit. Oh, look up that shit about some McDonald's fries, man. I just learned some crazy shit about some Mickey D's fries.
Lord. I can't watch it. I can't watch it. I gotta stay in the dark on that one. I gotta stay in the dark on that. I got to. The abomination of desolation prophecy. Ooh, what you talking about over there, Milburn? What are you talking about? I see Atris hopped in here towards the end. Let me hop back. Oh yeah. Okay, I like when I have some people who dig into the good book a little bit. I do appreciate it, and I wanted to shout out Humanitarian Genocide. Says, I saw you on Sabby's channel and sub to the channel. Sorry I missed this one, but I'm glad I found you. I'm so glad you found us also. I mean, and it's all right if you catch this one late, you can always go back and check it out later. Break it up throughout the week. That's the good thing about that we do our live stream once a week. Both of us are working, so and with me being on the West Coast, Chris being on the East Coast, it would be kind of difficult to do, a show like every day. But the one benefit of us doing it once a week, it allows you guys, if you only got, say, 30 minutes, you can watch 30 minutes one day, click it back on wherever you left off. And eventually, if I have time, I will try to break up some of this stuff. But, as I still work for the man, I can't do everything that I want to do, but I do appreciate whenever we have any new people who are in here. Yes, definitely check out some of the back streams, and I guarantee you one thing you're gonna see with this channel is we are talking about stuff in a different way than others. We don't try to tell you something that we don't believe, which I do believe some channels do. McDonald's fries do not deep. Stop, Yipper. Don't tell me nothing. I want to stay ignorant. I want, ignorance is bliss on some things, and I want to be ignorant about McDonald's fries. Just keep eating these wax fake fries and pretend that nothing's wrong with them. I was like, you want me to spoil, do you guys want me to spoil, what is it, Chick-fil-A's milkshakes for you? Because I can.
Oh, I saw that.
I can.
I saw that. That shit was nasty.
Especially if you get vanilla.
Oh yeah, I did see. I saw that video. I don't know. Maybe you sent it to me on the gram or something, but I think I did.
That. But yeah. Yipper, you said sure. Well,
Streets. I'm gonna try to catch it so we can touch base on that for sure. Marcus. Let's finish up.
Yeah, the vanilla is actually made from Vandy Cafe's like, no. Just look up what the vanilla comes from. Just look it up. And what I start realizing is you a nasty motherfucker to come up with that shit. You are nasty. Who the hell was out there tasting this to be like, that tastes like vanilla?
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, you're nasty. You're nasty.
I know.
Humanitarian genocide says this show was awesome. I used it to educate someone on Reddit who thought Nazism was an ounce different from Euro colonial projects and anything other than location. No, one of these days, and this is the last thing I'll say because they know I could keep going. One of these days, actually, I'm not even going to say it. I'm not going to say it. Just when I put these videos up and what I was talking about with We Woke Now and Moxie Approved, I'm going to clip that video. I'm going to break it into 4 parts for you all. And as you guys get your time to watch it, I'll do it throughout this week. I will hold myself to it. I know sometimes I say I'm going to do something and it takes a little longer, but I'm going to release one every day this week. That way you can be able to watch an hour and some change every day to see the full totality of what he says. And one of these days we will do a straight Rockfin. After that, let's give it maybe a good 2 weeks or so. And then we're going to have a Rockfin only part and go in depth on a lot of stuff that cannot be said on YouTube. I mean, I'm not saying we'll get a strike. I'm saying one time channel is gone if we see the stuff that I'm going to start bringing up and even bringing into question. It will be instantly. We will be. You're talking about whatchamacallit. You're talking about Kyrie and Ye are getting canceled. You guys will probably never see us online again if I did what I'm talking about on YouTube. And I'm going to show you guys lots of receipts. Not saying it's entirely what happened, but it's going to make you think. And also, it's going to make you research because that's what I want you guys to do. So on that note, oh yeah, that's right, I forgot. And if you guys have not checked out that interview I did over on Sabby's channel, please make sure to go check it out. It was a good interview. I think I did. It was roughly, it was the first hour. And the rest of the stream, I popped in here and there, which I still got to finish up. But it looked like it looked like everything else was pretty solid and entertaining and educational, of course. But yeah, mine was the first hour of it. Recommend you go and check it out. It was about the Holmesburg, I think it was Holmesburg prison. I just always remember the Philadelphia experiments, which happened through the 50s and 70s. But check that out. And then also I was on AM Wake Up over on Rockfin with our brothers over there, Steve and Pasta. We went in about the hip hop industry. I also talked about reggaeton and some of the influence that's going on. I think it's called Gatekeepers or something like that. So definitely check that one out. It was a lot of fun. And I will try to make sure to get myself next time I get another off day, or maybe I'll find a day, just schedule it off to go over there and kick it with those fellas again. Hopefully, as planned, I'll get to do it in studio with them. It's only a couple of hours away to Las Vegas where they're at. But on that note, we can leave it there. I plan on having a live stream on Hebrew Apologetics tomorrow. I just have a video I dropped earlier in the day. I do recommend you all check it out. It was an interesting interview from We See TV, from Dr. Laura Wynn Riverwind and her husband, Chief Joseph Riverwind. So I definitely say check it out. You too, Thomas, especially. I would like for you to, you know, check it out. And then if you have questions or disagreements, which I know you're going to have some, I would love to try to link it up for you to talk to the Riverwinds, which I'm probably going to reach out to them also sometime soon to try to have them on. Music does come from Puerto Rico. I don't know what you're talking about. Right now, the top leading music comes from Puerto Rico. So, but it's all Illuminati connected too. So, don't bring it. Don't make me go into that. Just check out that live stream if you want to see that. So, that said, you all have a wonderful weekend. Good luck to all your teams. Yeah, I know Panama has their thing. I know. Can't remember his name, General, but you know, back in the day. But the person who put it on the map would have been Daddy Yankee. And the person who really blew it up to American audiences, who's a big embarrassment right now, Noriega. But that said, we will leave it there. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. And for the new people, I'm so glad you guys found us. You know, looking forward to having you guys engaged in the conversations. Even if you don't agree with us on certain things, we're glad you're here and we want to hear your voice. And we do believe we can be taught also. So please always send us information, drop information to us. And you guys all have a great weekend. And if your teams play tomorrow, good luck to them. All those Chiefs fans, let's go Chiefs.